What's up, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks. Was it 2 weeks now? I think since the last stream. So I do appreciate everybody that's in here. You can see 40 odd people in here already. I know the numbers will go up as we go on, but I do appreciate everyone that hit me up last week and was like, "What's the story?" A big shout out, by the way, to Derek McManus in particular. Derek McManus was on, and he was just like, "Listen, a lot of very positive words was said." I'll just say it from the outset. Sometimes I can't do the stream on the Friday, and I do apologize for letting people know late notice. I know it's not something I want to be doing. I know it's not something that's appreciated by people out there as well either, because I know some people look forward to it during the week, and I have to say, like, that's even mad to say that. And that's not even me saying that. Like, that's what Derek is giving towards me and saying that the chat's saying and people are saying to him in general. So I really appreciate that, and I don't take that lightly whatsoever. And I really appreciate everyone that's in here tonight. I really appreciate everyone that listens on the playback. A big shout out, obviously, as I said, to Derek McManus, one of the mods that's in here, and all of the other mods that are here as well too. I mean, we've got some brilliant mods in here, and I really appreciate all of the hard work that they do. There usually isn't an awful lot of messing here in the chat, I have to say. It's really appreciated as well, obviously, because those people are working so hard at it. And funnily enough, during the week there on Twitter, Era, that does be in here in the chat there as well, DJ Era, she was letting me know that there was some goofball that likes to stalk me there on Twitter. This will give you a laugh straight off from the start. This person, how are you getting on? I know you're listening still anyway. This person hate watches my content, and I mean hours of it. This woman or man, whatever the individual is, decide, it's difficult to tell these days, really it is, and especially when they gender themselves, as you know. But this individual, anyway, watches hours of the content, can pick out specific points in time where they disagree with what I say. And I'm like, that is absolutely hilarious that someone goes to that degree of just anger with relation to what I'm saying. Still, however long they've been watching it, they still haven't copped on to what's going on. So there ain't any hope for you. And that's what I want to just reiterate constantly and consistently. It's conversations that you have in your real life. It's conversations that I have in my real life with people that you're looking at them and you're talking to them about what's going on in the world, and they just don't get it. And have you done it? And it's something that's interesting anyway. I've done it over the last couple of weeks, and I've started tested the waters with certain people, and I've been saying to myself, I wonder how far this will go, this conversation, because inevitably these people all bring up the same points. They bring up what's going on in the Middle East, and of course I'm happy to listen and oblige them when it goes my way. And I'm like, oh, this is great, lovely. We're getting into a good conversation here, are we? And then next of all, you'll give a piece of information and they're looking and they're like, whoa. On my key points to things that are going on in the Middle East, we'll be talking about it tonight, obviously, because it's a hot topic. That's obvious. But I ultimately care about Ireland. I don't care about what they're doing over there. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. And the thing is, we will be talking about it tonight. I know some people would say, well, that's hypocritical, Ninja. It's a topic and it's something that people want to be discussed. People hit me up and say, hey, look, I'd like to get your thoughts on these things. My way of looking at it, I think ultimately really is there are two sides of the same coin that are looking for the likes of us as Indigenous native Irish to not have a home anymore, which is quite ironic because they're two sides of the same coin that are not liking you as people. Some people have a real difficulty of getting that through their heads. And I have to be honest with you. Sometimes you look at it and you say to yourself, well, hang on, in my opinion, and this is the opinion that I would share, if the media and all politicians are on one side, you have to look at the other side and go, maybe they might be right. And especially when you look at our history, and listen, as I said to you beforehand, I couldn't care less with what goes on over there. I suppose most people will look at the pictures and videos like I have, unfortunately, as well, too, in some ways. Twitter is showing you some horrendous videos and pictures that are actually things that are happening. And it's harrowing stuff, it really is, because when you're looking at, for example, the way they started off with saying, oh, these people went into a festival, right? Have you seen the videos and the images of the kids that the other side have been putting out? You haven't seen that at all? Bad stuff. I mean, Conor McGregor put up a video he did, and I just looked at it and I was like, right, that's the end of Twitter now for tonight. And I said, I'm not looking at this now again because it was horrific. Now, obviously, he didn't mean to be putting that up in that sort of way, but I mean, that's the reality of what's going on, obviously. And when you see the media siding with one side, they've moved on from the previous narrative. The previous narrative of the blue and yellow flag waving country is running out of steam, and now they're like, now we're going to run with the white flag with the blue star. We're going to run with that there, guys. We're going to go 100% in on that. And people are starting to notice things. They're like, hang on here, what's going on? And what do they want to put into the hate speech laws here? They don't want you to criticize these people? Well, that's weird. That's very strange. And what else did they not want you to do? They don't want you to criticize the other side either. They don't want you to criticize the other gang. All right, that's very odd. What are those other guys doing right now? Oh, they're threatening the world, are they? Oh. France has decided to close a number of airports over the last 24 to 48 hours. They said that they got multiple threats. Okay. MTV Awards, is it there that's getting cancelled? Right. What else is getting cancelled? You see, this is the thing now. They're looking at it and they're going, the sniffles is not going to work again because they're all part of the same group. I mean, this whole group that you know, as I to keep calling them, the forum, they're all working together and they're all saying, right, people ain't buying that last narrative anymore. Let's change the tune and we will see if people will dance to this one. That's what it's really all about. And everybody's really wired to that now. And what's happening is people are noticing things now in greater numbers, and that's not ever going to stop. Like there's people that are out there, and as I said, and I alluded to earlier on, that when you get into a conversation with them and they talk about the Middle East, and you go, "Yeah, did you see the lasers that were fired up?" And then they just instantly shut down. They're like, what?" And I'm like, "Oh no, look, here's the video. I'll show you now." And there's the video, and they're still looking at you, going, "Right." And then they go, "Did you see the football match on the weekend?" And you go, "That's insane." Anyway, I had a conversation with someone there over the last couple of weeks, and they were starting to get what's really going on as well. We were talking about heart-related stuff, and this person themselves, unprompted, brought up the Voldemorts, and I said, "Wow, that's actually quite something now." And they just start talking about it, and they were still in on the sort of, because people are that way now still. There's people that are like, well, if I talk too loudly, other people might listen to this and think that I'm in on the conspiracy or something like that. And I go, "Oh no, like that's actually a fact. You know, what you're talking about there is you're right there." And this person got a bit of confidence then. It was great to see. But that's a person that's part of the younger generation. Now, people will say, and I had someone that criticized the last Sinn Féin video I put out of Desi Ellis, and they said, "Do you not like old people," or something like that? And I said, well, I would be critical of older people because they are the people who are stewarded in what's currently going on. You know, you look at everything that's happening right now, and you have people that are in the likes of the forum and these things, they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s. You've got people now that are like Desi Ellis, for example, who's 70 years of age. I'll repeat that again, 70 years of age, and is running around telling people he feels hurt by the words that they're saying. This is a guy that was incarcerated. I just want to make that clear. This is a guy that was in jail, was convicted. Now, I know, as well as you do, sometimes when you see people getting convictions here in this country, you go, bit strange, that one. I mean, if you were to look at Enoch Buck, for example, you'd go, "Oh, that guy must have done something wrong." Well, no, he didn't. I know people that say, "Oh, court order, court order." Listen, you weren't worried about the Geneva Convention. You weren't worried about any sort of other issues that have happened in the past that have led to things like, for example, the Nuremberg Code. You weren't worried about any of that at all. Laws, statutes put aside. But a fella disagreeing with someone over nonsense and then actually voicing their opinion in public, "Oh no, incarcerate that man for that." Absolute lunacy. And now we have his sister. I have the article here tonight. The sister has one of four things now, or one of four complaints thrown out due to her conduct in court. Isn't it hilarious? Hilarious, the stuff that you see on the internet, because you go, well, hang on here for a second. Leo Varadkar was under criminal investigation and that went nowhere. What about all of the money that's been sent in foreign aid? That's not at the behest of the Irish people. It's just being spent and sent over to these places, and he ain't getting it back. Meanwhile, the likes of Middleton, is it there in Cork, is they're talking about it. I have the article now that I'll pull up in a few minutes. They're talking about, we might send aid there to Middleton and Cork. You got a whip around done really quickly there for the Blue Star and White Flag country there in the Middle East. You got the whip around done quick for them, didn't you? But people in Cork, no. Oh no, don't worry about them. Buy canal boats, lads. That's what you are being recommended to do. A floatel for the people in Cork. Is that what's going to happen? Okay, we'll wait and see anyway with that. Anyway, we'll jump into the chat and say hello. It's great to see everyone here tonight on a Friday night. I know it's wet. I know it's windy. People aren't going out. They might be going to the pub. You know, enjoy if you're going out. The Late Show, it's not a competitor anymore, boys. You got the Late Show now that on a weekly basis they're telling you they're trying to dismantle it as much as possible. And you're looking at it and you're going, well, this is interesting because there's obviously an ulterior motive here, because whenever these people do things, there's an ulterior motive to it. They're like, they get another generic host, no one of any interest. Then they're bringing on people that people are actually criticizing and are going, hang on, this person's been on the Late like 15 times beforehand. Why are they on again? They've the same old shtick that they pull out there. Did they bring Michael D. Higgins on already? Did they? Mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. They had Jason Bourne, I think, on. I haven't seen that fella tell a joke in years, especially not a funny one. But the same people that just keep being rolled out again and again and again. And of course, now with this whole thing with the actors, this is hilarious. So for anyone that's not in the know and they're wondering why Hollywood's been really quiet and the amount of woke stuff has started to dial down an awful lot, is because actors have been told to zip it. They've been told, listen, guys, we're in negotiations. Then they were coming to this agreement. And then last week, I think it was, they walked out on the agreement. They're like, no, we're out of here. And everybody on our side of the fence is like, no new content? Great. That's happy days. No new Star Wars stuff? Happy days. We'll just watch the original trilogy. We'll watch the prequel trilogy. I love the prequel trilogy, to be quite honest with you. I know some people say, but when you compare it to the sequel trilogy, it is a masterpiece. And as I keep saying beforehand, and I'll say it again, isn't it interesting when you watch the prequel trilogy and you see like for like, and I would say even some very similar faces to what's currently going on. It's almost like George Lucas was a prophet, isn't it? It's almost like he was in the know. It's almost like he was friends with certain people. Wasn't he friends with Spielberg? It's almost like he knew, and maybe he got some inspiration from other people. I mean, where else would you get it that he turns a character, a goofball like Jar Jar Binks, into a senator in episode 2 that ultimately gives power to the Supreme Chancellor? Isn't that amazing? That becomes Emperor Palpatine. Isn't that insane? Isn't it insane that they're able to bring in an army under the guise of peacekeeping and go into various places? And of course, in this peacekeeping sort of mantra that they have, they're going in and they're working places. Weird that, isn't it? It's kind of very similar to what's happening now. Do you know what's interesting as well, before I jump into the chat? I know I said I would in a few minutes. But I watched an interview with Viggo Mortensen. And Viggo Mortensen, for anyone that's out there that doesn't know who he is the guy who plays Aragorn, who plays he plays Aragorn, and he plays multiple other characters in different movies he does. But this guy is an actor, and he said something, and it was just after the incident in New York, if you know what I'm talking about. And then they had gone to war and all at that stage, and he was questioning it. He was like, why are we going there? What are we doing? And I was looking at it and I was just like, how ahead of his time he was at that time to be going, why are we going there? What's the story there? Why are we going to a country that this guy isn't, this fella that's hiding there like Cobra Commander? Why are we going to a country that doesn't even harbour this fella? What's the story there? You know what I mean? And he's starting to figure it out at that point in time. Maybe he did beforehand as what was going on. Now, that guy is pretty based, I would say, for an awful lot of the things he does and says. But since then as well, too, there's been a couple of things that he's getting involved in, because these people are never fully out, by the way. Some of these people that are involved in celebrity and all of that sort of stuff, they are still 1 foot in there. You can see even with the Paddy Cosgrave stuff, if you're not familiar with that, Paddy, if you're going to go with the Irish name, I suppose there, Paddy Cosgrave put out a tweet, and he was critical of one country. Guess which one? Across in the Middle East. And then a number of actors and sponsors were like, oh, we're pulling out. Oh, that's very democratic of you, lads, isn't it? Isn't it? And have you seen since then as well, aside from that, now, Paddy Cosgrave, by the way, is followed by the forum on Twitter, so I would have a big question mark around that there. But since then, you've seen people then, one player for Bayern Munich, ironic, isn't it? I wonder what Bayern Munich's badge looked like there in the 1930s and 1940s. You can guess what it did look like, and you can guess what they were doing. Anyway, these people now are punishing players that are saying, hey, I'm siding with one side, and this other guy is siding with the other. There was another football club as well, too. Who was it there? It was El Ghazi's club. I only know it's El Ghazi because he was linked to a club there in England, Manchester United. And this guy is at Mainz now, I think he is, or somewhere like that, and posted a pro you-know-where place. And he was told, yeah, suspended. Now, I'm sure he was going, and I mean, most people probably go, if they're getting a big fat paycheck like him, they're going, I'll throw out a post like that now, and I get a few weeks' work. A few weeks' worth of payment for doing nothing. You know? Absolutely mad world that we live in. But what's happening is what's going on is there's a tighter hold coming upon people now to conform to the narrative. That's what you're seeing. And what they're starting to do now is they're starting to attack mainstream, what I would say is the now mainstream people that have had a bigger spoke over the last couple of years. Make no bones about it. These people that are sitting in certain positions aren't happy about average Joes and certainly people with influence having influence. They want it all to themselves. So that's why when you see the likes of what's going on with the likes of Russell Brand, for example, again, I don't know the ins and outs of the situation. A couple of people asked me. I think morally, as a man of his age, going out with a 16-year-old, I think it's wrong. That's my belief. And if it is illegal, well, then it's illegal, and that's not something you should be doing 100%. But on the flip side, when you come to things of people out there, not Russell Brand, other people that are actually posting things out there, you can see what's going on. You can see where, for example, the fella called Kennedy there that's in America, he's now running as an independent because he's like, I'm being stonewalled by the blue gang. The red gang definitely won't let me in, and they're going mental themselves as well. So I'm going to go and stand on my own 2 feet. Now, that deal could be a wrecking ball, and that could be a very big positive because we have an article from him here tonight now, and that's huge what he's saying. What he's saying is absolutely enormous. So stick around for that one. But overall, what we see now is we are seeing a tightening of the grip from these people to try and make people conform to the current thing. Last couple of years hasn't really worked, but this thing now is sort of like the final move that they can make to try and make people conform. And it's really interesting stuff. So what we have here is Dark Man says, thanks very much. It says a small donation for the cause. Only B1014 says the Washington Zoyo rubbing their hands together at the idea of more Middle East escalation to make Europe, the vacuum for new arrivals once again. Donald Trump said that. Donald Trump said that years ago. He said these people getting involved in the Middle East, he says what it's going to cause is people having no homes, going to have issues, they're going to flood out of the place, they're going to move across then to Europe into wealthier areas and cause mischief there. He was proved right. That's exactly what's happened. Now, as you know, and some people that would follow this channel don't love when I say things like this, but I don't really care. If you were involved in the likes of the military, you were part of the problem here. Because whilst you think it's a great idea to be in there and serving your country, I don't understand personally. And I mean, look, satirical soldiers being here as well too with the defense forces. I don't understand fully what drives someone to be part of that, to try and put your life on the line, especially then for the people that are so willing to get involved in scuffles, arguments, fights that has got nothing to do with them, and you are the one that's going to pay the price. You are the one that's putting yourself at risk. Leo Varadkar was talking all sorts of smack about the Russian fella a couple of months ago. He has no intentions, zero intentions of going across and putting on a helmet and strapping up and going out there in the front line. Micheál Martin is basically a mollusk. He is a fella there without a spine. He's one of the most spineless individuals that you'll ever find. He was on Neil Prendeville. I know I said I'd get into the chat and I was like 10 minutes ago, but bear with me, I'm on a roll here. He was on Neil Prendeville during the week. Now, everybody knows what the story is with Neil Prendeville. Everybody knows, by the way, that when you're on and you're being grilled as a politician by some of these journalists, it is, in my humble opinion, a setup. It is, in my humble opinion, because when you see people sitting there and taking what the likes of Micheál Martin are saying, instead of firing back at him immediately, you have to go, that's nonsense. Micheál Martin, was sitting there and he was questioned on Neil Prendeville about the amount of people, the influx of people into this country, over 120% into the country, right? Now, I think the figure was 187%, maybe even 167%. I'm open to correction on that one. And then here's what Micheál Martin said. Have some humanity. I nearly fell off the chair. I was looking at him and I was like, have some humanity? Is this fella having a laugh? This is the same sham that voted to take away your rights, your civil liberties and your freedoms over the flu. That's the same guy. That's the same guy that stood up barefaced and said that the flu hadn't been here in the last 2 years. Oh, the flu took a sabbatical, lads. It headed off there over to the Bahamas for 2 years, just stayed there, chilled out, got a bit of a tan. This year it's back though. They're telling you that you can get the flu, Voldemort, this year. Oh, it's back now. The flu was a conspiracy theory 2 years ago though. And isn't that insane that you said to people, hey, this thing has all of the same hallmarks as influenza, and they went, no. And you're going, well, the flu, it sounds very much so like the flu. No, the flu's not here this year. It went on sabbatical, did it? It went on its jollies, did it? All right. But anyway, get back to what I was saying there. You've Micheál Martin saying those things. This is also a guy, by the way, and not only due to the sniffle stuff, this is a fella that voted for the likes of Voldemort passports here in this country. You couldn't enter a gym, a cinema, and various other places. There were some senators like Jerry Hawkins standing up there talking about making people having to have one of these Voldemort passports to get into the supermarket. This is how wacko things went, by the way. And this sham, this, in my opinion, dope board is standing up there telling people, have some humanity. This fella is one of the most spineless individuals you'll ever meet. Absolutely incredible. And these are the same dudes, by the way, that are running across the blue and yellow flag waving country. They're having a big problem there now, lads. You won't get out and stand and talk to people. I have a video that I'm going to show you now in a moment there from Derek Bloig. An awesome video. Shows you exactly what we're dealing with politicians in this country. Politicians in this country will fly off to an active war zone, allegedly, speculatively, because when you look at some of the live camera footage from certain countries, there's nothing going on. And then you look at them there and here, and they can't wait to get into cars. They're running away. Norma Foley wouldn't speak to the Burke family. What was it, 6 of them that was there outside the school one day? Then you have the likes of what happened during budget day. Did you see that? There was a brilliant picture that was put out there by Quavin, and it was just like what they did on budget day outside Leinster House. If you didn't know, because here's how much solid intel these people have and the money that was being wasted by them. They were prepared, apparently, for a massive protest or something to happen on the day, because they had erected, and people would be like, that is erected, and they had put up these barriers, massive barriers, outside the door with Gardaí hanging around. Now, what sort of intel did you have, Lance, to put that up? And there was no receipts shown. There was nothing shown to say, oh, by the way, guys, we put this up because we're out to getting this, that, and the other. Anyway, they'd lie about that anyway, in my humble opinion. But Quavin, in fairness, outside of it, put a couple of the profile pictures of different people on Twitter: Satirical Soldier, Chopper, Toby, the How Reliable, it's the Irish Inquiry, and various other people, including themselves there. And I thought it was hilarious. Very, very funny. But the point still stands. Whose intel was gathered, and how were they gifted that money to just spend willy-nilly? When you see something that I have here tonight, it's an article that I have to do a video on as well. I'll do a solo video on it. But it is insane, the money that is just being spent in this country. And then they're turning around going, we might give it to Middleton, we might give it to Cork. We'll see. Insane. Finola Murku says Ireland, and sent to Shamrock as well too. Derek Mann says I'm pro Ireland, North and South. Brilliant. Great stuff to hear. Ireland is an important country to keep going. And this is something as well. I know some people disagree with me on this one as well, but I can't ever see a united Ireland. And I'll tell you why. The reason is surely people in the North on both sides of the fence are looking at the clown show that's going on here, and they're going, yeah, no, we don't want any part of that there. I mean, if I was living there, I'd probably be that way too. I'd probably go, I'm winning on the exchange rate when it comes to money. And people that are there, anytime they're caught doing anything, they just keep getting back in. Whereas, at least in this place, there seems to be some accountability. Not an awful lot now, mind you. I mean, there's no accountability anywhere, it seems, nowadays. But, like, here, there's just zero accountability. People are caught doing all sorts here, and then it's just like, oh, well, 24 hours into the tabloids, and then it's gone, it's out. But they're trying to hammer someone else, then they will, that's up to no good. But you're going, oh, well, they're not bothering me. That's the way I look at things now. I'm like, are they bothering me? No. So it's not bothering me. But these people are bothering me. So we've got Leanne Curtis in here, says, hi, everyone, evening, Ninja Night. Yeah, by the way, if you're at Ninja Night, that'd be very helpful for me there tonight now. That'd be absolutely brilliant, because I'm going to try and fly through the chat this evening. That would be very appreciated if I could get through the chat as quick as possible. Keep going here as well and see if anything else going on. Third man says, Ninja Night, can you please shout out Mairead O'Regan from Cork, long-time viewer who contacted me via Facebook this week and uses the PlayStation to view the stream, so cannot comment in the chat. Hello, great to hear you, and thanks very much to everyone that's in here on whatever device you're on. I appreciate that. Toby's in here, says, hello, chap. That's the lad I was talking about, Thoughts Toby there. He is absolutely brilliant on Twitter. Make sure you're following him. Make sure you're following Mick O'Keefe, Chopper as well. Absolutely brilliant stuff. These guys are putting out things. Chopper put out a thing yesterday or the day before, and he was talking about the solicitor that's defending your man Joseph Puska. And he said then that the same solicitor that's defending Joseph Puska is defending the fella that did, what shall we say, trim off the top in Sligo. Will we say that? Can you say that, something like that? I suppose you can. It's not talking about anything in specifics. But from the Rainbow Gang, if you know what I'm talking about, I did a video on it not too long ago. You would be amazed at the amount of people here in this country that don't know that occurred in Sligo, by the way. I talk about any chance I get with people. I'm like, did you hear about what happened in Sligo that time? Because when they're talking about things and things that are going on, did you hear about what happened in Sligo? No, I didn't hear that at all. And you're going, that's weird. That's very strange. But anyway, Chopper, I have a thing here from him tonight as well. He put up a brilliant tweet there, and it was talking about the solicitor. This solicitor apparently is on about €500,000 a year. And this guy is defending the likes of your man Puska, allegedly, spectively. I don't. Do we have to say allegedly, spectively on that one? I don't know. Again, and then is allegedly, spectively going to be defending the Sligo Bucko. Now that's interesting to me that that guy, and he's obviously a high earner, is defending these people. How is that? And someone within that system might say, well, if you're free legal aid or whatever like that, they'll select the best person possible. Oh, is that the case? Is it? Well, I wonder if that fella's going to be defending the likes of the fellas that are selling dodgy boxes that are being put out and put into jail there. You know, they've been making a lot of articles about that recently, about fellas being put into jail over dodgy boxes that are actually selling the service. And I'm looking at that going, I wonder if those fellas had free legal aid of a fella that gets paid €500,000 a year. I wonder if anybody else there that's caught with, say, without tax and insurance, for example, because that's a big talking point now at the moment. I wonder if they're giving free legal aid of people that are given €500,000 a year. I wonder if that happens. Because there was a video that came out, I think Gavin Pepper shared it out. If it wasn't Gavin Pepper, I know that either Todd Toby or Mick O'Keefe shared it, they did on Twitter. And this fella's walking along and he's just like, this fella's tax and insurance out a day, and your man's drinking a can of Carlsberg behind the wheel. Not from this country, obviously. And you're going, like, what's the story? Now, what's going to happen here is, and just so everyone knows as well, tax and insurance is going to be something that the likes of the uniforms are going to be hugely interested in over the next while. It's, in my opinion, probably what they've been told is the go-to and what they're looking for when they get out of Temple More, because they're putting out loads of videos of them there as well too, going, stopping cars and looking at this and all that. I'm like, lads, look at you doing a hard day's work. Fair play to you. Hard day's work there, lads. Borders wide open. Don't worry about that. Jokey video has been made on Facebook, but great to see that you're out there doing those sort of things there, and the borders are wide open. We have a corruption in the government and in politicians at an all-time high, and ties to all sorts of nefarious groups. But you guys are checking car insurance and tax, and then when it does go to court, you have instances there where it's just been thrown out, and they're going, well, your man's from the blue and yellow flag waving country. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? That seems like it's one rule for one and one rule for another. And when that happens, that's called the two-tier system. And when a two-tier system happens, well, it's only going to take a matter of time before other people notice that. And that's not good. Because obviously, as I said before, law and order is something that I'm a big fan of. But I think when you're looking at what's currently going on as well, you're going, there's a lot of man-made laws and rules that are completely stupid. And you have to look at it and go, yeah, doesn't make sense to be doing any of these things. But anyway, we keep going. So Toby's in here, says hello, chat. Good to see you here. Great to see everybody here. The chat is absolutely buzzing here tonight now. It's flying along, trying to keep up with it. Who else have we got in here? We've Frank Barnes here as well. Good to see you here. Much appreciated. I'm in there at 5 to 8 as well. I'm about 30 minutes behind the chat. I don't like to stay too long. I don't, because obviously I want to get into what's happening here. End of the line, Joel says, Ninja Knight, international obligations and protected characteristics are Orwellian terms to control people's opinions. Yeah, there's a lot of terminology been thrown around as well during the last couple of years that's trying to stick. But unfortunately, what happens when an awful lot of these words, by the way, is they start to lose meaning and people go, yeah. It's like when people say far right, everyone goes, well, what does that mean? And no one can say. They're like, not sure. I don't know what that means. Aidan McLaren says, I wonder if Ninja Knight would consider putting on a warm-up act while we wait for him. Yikes, getting slated already I am. I was like 5 minutes late on that one tonight, was I? Yikes. Jerome Reedy says, Ninja Knight, you're in the pub. Now, Humans A says, good evening, Ninja and chat. Good to see you here. Derek Manis, actually, by the way, just whilst I'm talking about him, because I was talking about earlier on, was talking about doing a pre-show. I don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to do that or not, but he should. And pre-shows are always good. Irish Red says, Ninja Knight, you're famous now if you have a stalker. I know, rockstar now at this stage of the game. It's absolutely shocking, isn't it? Honey Monster says, give me a name, Ninja, I'll make their noise. Issue. Sheepdog says, good evening, chat, Ninja Knight. People talking about if you don't have a stalker or nobody. Listen. Poor souls that are out there is all I'll say. Fergus Power says, great to have you back, bro. Hello to all you beautiful Patriots. Wishing you all a very blessed weekend. Hope to see a few of you in Waterford tomorrow for a pro-Irish rally. Aaron Gobra. Fergus is one of the real ones. I mean, this is a guy, by the way, that the mainstream media and politicians out there are doing their hardest to try and discredit. And this fella is turning up and down the country, as well as others, that are going up and down the country. They're there and they're there to be counted, they're there to be heard. And these are the same people then that the mainstream and other politicians will try and say, oh, these people aren't involved. These people are involved. These people are involved, and fair play to them doing the recording that they're doing, because the recording that they're doing is so important. There's people now that will recognise Ferg when he's out. There's people that recognise Toby when he's out. The same with Gavin Power, the Irish Inquiry, Philip Dwyer, Satirical Soldier. There's people that are recognising the lads that when they're out there. And that is absolutely phenomenal. And that goes to show you that the boots on the ground, people that are doing the work, are being picked up and they're actually being loved by the people. I've lost count of the amount of times I've seen people on video congratulating the lads and shaking hands like that. And to me, I think the numbers that are with them are so much more than what the establishment have with them. And when you see the video I'm going to show you in a moment, it just, to me, proves my point. But big shout out to Ferg that's in the chat there. And the line Joseph, we can empathise with foreign people without wanting them to come over here. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you on that point. And that's something I always say. What we should have in this country, people say, oh, you're totally against these people. No, I think we should have a strict vetting process is what I'm saying. I think that we should be looking for people that have specific talents to come into the country if that's the possibility, like the likes of a neurosurgeon or something like that. If we don't have that in this country, I'm open to that. I'm saying, yeah, no problem. What I'm not open to, though, is an open border policy of having unlimited amount of people coming from the likes of countries in Africa that are giving nothing but guff to people that are here in Ireland, claiming that they are now Irish as you are. And I'm going, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I'm not having an infinite amount of people coming over here that are going to sponge off the likes of the social welfare and get free housing, whilst people like you and me are breaking our backs going out to work. Everybody's working then to try and pay for a home and a roof over your heads and all of the bills that are coming with it. And you're looking at this sort of nonsense going on. No, that's not for me. And that's what an awful lot of other people are doing. And they're the same thing. And as I keep saying as well too, I have friends that are from other countries. And I don't have to keep reiterating that, but I like to reiterate it, because the reason for that is this. These are the very same people then that are telling me that we should be closing the door. These are the very same people that are saying to me, it's getting ropey around here. It's getting ropey. You're starting to see people coming in from certain countries in Africa, and these are bad boys. You're seeing people that are coming in from certain places like Albania and Georgia, and they're bad boys. I mean, not all of them, but these guys are going, well, we know what that country's about. We know what their people are like, and they're moving on out. And I saw a video as well, I think it was posted by Off Grid Ireland there during the week, and it was of a fella, an actual black fella, funnily enough himself, and he was going around saying, if there was an issue with Ireland and Ireland was invaded tomorrow, would you fight and, for Ireland? And these fellas, all of them are like, nah, except the Irish lads. The Irish lads were like, I'd stand on my own 2 feet and I'd help and I'd fight for my country. The other fellas that are either coming in here, into the country, were like, nah, no way, I ain't doing that. So this is what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? People that are happily scarper when something goes wrong here. And listen, it's the same in every other country. It's the same what you're saying everywhere else. But like I said, we should be focusing on people that have actual skill sets and talents, not bums coming into this country. My attitude to the whole thing is this. We have enough bums of our own without introducing more bums. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I say that, you have your own people, which, listen, I'm open to that. There's people that are going to be there that are just never going to work or anything like that. That happens. That's just going to be part of life. But we can't introduce more of them, because what ends up happening is then there's people that are being told now you're going to have to work till you're 67. Meanwhile, Mohammed or something like that, coming from some kip in the Middle East, is coming in and going, oh, this is great. Then you have Giorgio that's coming there from the likes of the blue and yellow flag waving country, not going to work a day in their life, free gaff, free lot that they're getting there. And you're going, sure, what am I doing? What's this for? See, where this is all leading to is communism. And the reason why it's leading to communism and the likes of a social credit score is because people, and particularly people on the left-hand side, and I know people say, oh, left and right. Listen, I can only say so many words and specific words here in this channel, on this platform. And the reason why you use leftism is for a very specific reason. I just want to be clear on that one as well. But lefties generally have stupid ideas and stupid policies, so you might as well lump them all in onto that one there. These people are mad for a social credit score system, because what is a social credit score system? It is patting you on the head and giving you points for being a good nodding dog. Not for being anyone of any sort of word. It's because you're being told that you're a virtuous person by the likes of the government. That's what is happening. So no matter how crazy things get, if you are on the side of the government that are doing wild out there things that are totally reprehensible, Once you're on that side, you're being patted on the head, and you're going to have more stuff than people like me and you that are going, hang on here for a sec, that's wrong. And you know morally that that's wrong. So that's why those people are all for that. Just so we all know, and we're all on the same page. That's why those people, and for a long time, I used to think, why are these people like that? That's exactly why. Because that system appeals to them. It appeals to them. Anyway, we'll move on. Kevin McMahon says, Ninja, the timestamp is it happening so we can cut and put in the best bits from the show, like what Ragnar does for GT. That's something as well I've thought about. I don't really know how to do that. So we'll get there as well as much as possible if I can. B says, Ninja Nice, so glad you're back, mate. Real news. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. Von Malone says, it's all propaganda, lies, and half-truth. It's far, far away. None of my business. Exactly. Another thing that doesn't concern me really is as far as I'm concerned. Trout Meplica says, hey Ninja, great to have you back. This Ashton Murphy carry on has me over the edge. We'll get into that here tonight. Chopper put out a great tweet with relation to that, and things are starting to get a bit strange when it comes to that story, because that story seems to have changed. Now, I'm going to do a solo video, I'd imagine, on that, just to let people know what's going on and how the media initially reported that versus what's been reported now, which is completely conflicting. So were they given bad information, or was information scuppered at the time to stop any sort of issues? I don't know. I'd say choose your poison on that one. I'd say pick your poison on that one, because I don't know what is happening there with relation to that one. But when you're looking at the media to try and tell you the truth, not going to happen, is what I would say. The media are out there, and in my opinion, their goal is to totally distract people, and I think it's also then as well too to totally, what they like to say, misinform and disinform, but I think to lie. You know, you look at the word actor. Someone was talking about the word actor not too long ago, and it's to push narratives. And you look at actors now, even for example, and you're looking at them and you're going, there's no way they believe in all of this stuff. Not a chance. But they're still pushing it. They're still pushing things that don't make sense at all. So we'll get into this video here. This is brilliant. By the way, if you're not following Derek Bloig over here on Instagram or on Twitter, make sure you're following him. This video did it for me. I have to be honest with you. This video, and you can see it here, I suppose, from the thumbnail, is of Varadkar. Now, before we get into the video, I'm just going to give a breakdown of what I think is happening here. Varadkar is very aware as to who Derek Bloig is. He's very aware, and I'd imagine majority of the cabinet and majority of the government are keenly, as well as the media, keenly aware of who the guys are on our side of the fence. I'm sure they know. I mean, listen, this is again speculation, allegation. Speculatively, allegedly. Derek Manson's like, that's two. I would say that there's potentially someone has been given these people orders to not speak. And I don't know whether that might be maybe an A3 page, maybe some sort of billboard or something like that that has the images of the people that are on our side of the fence, and basically do not speak to this person. Because all I ever see from these politicians and media personalities is one of two things: complete and utter silence. They won't say anything. So maybe that's been trained into them, maybe that's been drummed into them to not say a word. And also then the second thing, to run as fast as possible. Because we've seen a video with Ryan Tubridy not too long ago as well, where he was in, I don't know whether it was a spar or centre or something like that. I think he was looking to get a roll or whatever, and someone came in and said, oh, you're pushing the Voldemorts. He just looked and turned and ran across the street and ran away as fast as possible. The same with this guy here. I believe personally that Varadkar notices who Bloig is, realises this isn't going to go my way, and ducks real quickly. Let's have a look. 900 likes on that one, by the way. That's more than what Leo Varadkar gets on his post on Instagram or anywhere else that he puts things. I mean, 3,000 followers, by the way. And these accounts are trying not to give people like Derek a big push. It's very clear. Let's have a look now and see if Instagram doesn't actually use it now.
Question for you, Mr. Varadkar. You've allocated 10 million to the people of East Cork. You've allocated 750 times more to the people of Ukraine and international protection agencies. Do you care about the people of Ireland at all? Or is it only people from other countries that you care about? Mr. Varadkar, that's a genuine question. Could you answer it, please? Mr. Varadkar, can you answer the question, please? You think you're a failure to Ireland, Mr. Varadkar? Mr. Varadkar, please, can you answer the question? Question for you, Mr. Varadkar.
That face there when he's pulling in the bottom lip as well. I've seen a number of people. Now, I don't profess to be a, what would you say, body language expert or anything like that, but I've seen enough of them that would say that when someone does that, they're prohibiting themselves from saying anything. That's generally what happens there. But he realizes who Derek Bloig is, in my opinion, very sharply. And he goes, oh no, here's your man. And this is going to make me look bad. Now, I'm just going to put this out here because for anyone there that thinks, oh, well, you know, he's there with a camera phone and he's asking questions. There's a number of things that I'm going to say there. First of all, this fella's an elected representative. He should be answering questions that's been asked by a person that is of the public. He absolutely should be. That is what a TD is supposed to do. And these people that are TDs that are blocking people online, by the way, because it's, I reckon what will happen in the next 2 to 5 years is a lot of these politicians will delete their accounts on social media because they're getting it on social media anyway. But when Elon Musk decides to lift the ban on people being able to block people, they're in trouble. Now, we might still have a feature like muting or whatever like that. That's fine. And that's probably the way they're going to go, so that these people will be like, oh, I don't have to listen to that person anymore. But the bottom line of it is this, without social media, in the real world here, this is an elected representative, allegedly, being asked by a member of the public that pays his wages, that is a member of the electorate, and he's just blanking them and walking past them and getting out of Dodge as fast as possible. Isn't that incredible? Second point that I'm going to make here, because that was my first point. My second point is this. Derek Bloig is very astute in what he's doing. He's a very good speaker, as far as I'm concerned. He's a very good man at arguing. In my opinion, a career politician like Leo Varadkar, this isn't Leo Varadkar's first rodeo, and that's what some other people will say, and they'll try and give a lot of discredit. This is what they try to do, by the way, in the media. They'll say the likes of people that are asking him questions in the street are harassing him, attacking him. These are the type of words that they use, by the way. And what they'll try and do is they'll say, well, that's unfair. Hang on here for a second. Leo Varadkar is a career politician that's in government since what? Is it 89 or 90? Maybe just even after that. This fella should be absolutely skilled at debating people on the street. And that's with no disrespect being made to Derek Bloig. No disrespect at all. What that's saying is that a career politician that is supposed to be engaging in high-level debates and high-level contracts, I would even say, and maybe even contacts, and maybe even, how could we say, deals and disputes with people, cannot engage with a man on the street. And all of these politicians seem to share the same sort of response. Now, there's been a comment that has gone around over the last 2 years, and it's a comment that I'm starting to believe in a little bit more. And the comment is this, is that politicians are just basically ugly actors. They are people that didn't get into show business. They are not attractive. And that is why the large majority of politicians that you see are very unattractive. And a lot of them seem to be actors. Because these people are 100%, in my opinion, playing a part that makes no sense at all. What sort of sense does it make to take money off the Irish people to then send it off to foreign countries that have got nothing to do with us? And people would say, oh, but the famine. Would you get a grip? Get a grip when it comes to that. That was an issue between Britain and Ireland, and everybody knows what happened there. And they try and stifle history, by the way. They try and say, oh, it was due to one thing or the other. The British Empire stopped food from going around this country. They actively tried to get rid of the Irish people. And that's not a thing of, oh, they were just a little bit belligerent with these things. They absolutely tried to do that. Look at the fact of the language that we are speaking right now. That is at the behest of the British Empire, and for centuries of beating this country the way that has been beaten. And these guys here that are in these positions, like Leo Varadkar, as I keep saying before, and it's something that Phil Dwyer says an awful lot when he's talking on the streams, and especially the politicians and members of the media, should absolutely be able to handle someone that is on the street asking them questions. But still, And this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years on. These politicians are all still given the same runaround. Hey, just what to do here is don't answer them and then just get into the car as quickly as possible. This looks worse for you. Do you know that? Not that you care. You see, this is the thing. We all presume that these people care. They don't. Because at the end of the day, this is a fella that was under criminal investigation. He has one of the lowest turnouts, I would say, in most of the constituencies because people are just so despondent about him. They don't want anything to do with him. The same idiots keep voting for him, and then he gets in on the 6th count. So when you look at the current system, these people are happy with how things are going. They're going, oh, sure, that's grand. Sure, it's business as usual. When the next election comes up, they're going to probably go again and probably going to get away with it. And that's why it's important for patriotic parties to be fielding people in those constituencies and getting out and getting active. And they are doing that. That's the important thing. That's why you're seeing such a response from the media. The media are in panic mode right now because they're running cover for these people and they're like, oh no. When you have Philip Dwyer, for example, pulling in on a live stream over 1,000 people, for example, that's bad news for these individuals. There's no way that if Paul Murphy sparked up a live stream tomorrow night that he'd get 1,000 people into it. Not a hope. No way would it happen. And I'm talking about even sending around to their own little circles. They can do what they want with NGO Fest, and people say, well, people turned up to that there. But that's not a real reflection of the Irish people. Absolutely not. So going on the Leo Varadkar thing there, just to end that before I go on to some of the gap here. Fair play to Derek Bloig for asking the questions that are having to be asked because these things are important. These things should be asked in the Dáil, but they're not being asked in the Dáil because it's, again, as I said, a big theatre. The Dáil is a massive theatre in my humble opinion, and you'll see it even with some of the stuff that I'm going to show you here tonight. You want to see one of the things when they had a debate on excess, what would we say, mortality? There were like 12 people in the Dáil. If even. Place full to the rafters for Joe Biden. Place full to the rafters for him. Another weird video coming out of him there in the last 24 hours where his chin looks like something like Desperate Dan from the Beano. And this fella is there and people are looking going, what's going on? I took up a thing on Twitter and I was just like, do we reckon that this is a clown or do we reckon it's a Mission Impossible mask? Because that has to be one of the two answers that are going around at the moment because that guy ain't the real dude. Not a chance. So anyway, let's keep going here and we'll have a bit of a laugh about what's going on here because obviously as well too, you have to have a laugh. You have to keep a good sense of humor when these things happen and you have to keep hope up as well too. It's very easy to be despondent. It's very easy to get sad about things, but you can't be sad. You have to be happy. Cabinet will hold talks on flood relief, says Taoiseach. Micheál Martin there now. Very good there, lad. The Taoiseach Micheál Martin has said Cabinet will hold urgent talks to accelerate flood relief funding for people affected by Storm Babbitt amid criticism the financial supports may not be enough. How about not giving money to blue and yellow flag waving country? How about not giving money to the white flag blue star waving country? How about that? How about holding that money and going, actually lads, we have a problem of our own. But here's the thing. Here's why that's not happening. Because have you noticed? I'm sure you have. If you happen to be, I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to the news or anything like that. But I happen to be in shopping centres. I happen to be in specific places where there is a radio on. And that's where a lot of these places get their coverage from insofar as when they say, oh, we're getting 50,000 viewers. Are you? Yeah. That's probably, I'd say, maybe even 10,000 of them are probably in doctors' offices that are just on there to just make a bit of noise there. I'd say probably another 10,000 maybe are in shopping centres. Again, the same thing, just making noise. You know what I'm saying? How many of those, break that down for me. Break down how many people are actually actively listening to you on an individual basis. We can't do that. Of course you can't, because that will absolutely expose what you're doing. So what have they been running with this week? Going back, and that was a long-winded way of saying this. They have been telling you that there's a climate emergency. And RTE News themselves have been out there going, this is a climate-related crisis. Is it really? Is it really? Isn't that funny how all of these places have the same problems that they had 30, 40, 50 years ago that they do today? And what have you done in an awful lot of these places? Have you fixed out the drainage? No. Have you shoved more people into these areas? Oh, you have. And more shops and restaurants and stuff like that? Oh, you have. So there's more people using it and the drainage and the sewer system isn't as good. Well, I think I found a root cause as to what's going on there. No. Is there any engineers that are willing to do that? I'm not an engineer. But is there any engineers or anything like that that's willing to do that and go, actually, guys, we're actually inadequate when it comes to these things? This has to be, and I mean this, The only country in the world that puts up with this sort of nonsense and that is threatening to do so. This is a country that every year when it snows and when there's ice and it happens to be out in the airport, gets caught with the pants down. It's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. Are you stupid? Actually, that's too stupid to be stupid. It's on purpose. Because then they can go on to RT and go, the climate emergency is getting worse there, guys. What we have here now is actually an airport that's been stood to a standstill because we have no salt, which is weren't prepared for that. What about all of those countries like Siberia and stuff? Siberia. What about all of these frozen kips that have airstrips not a bother to them? What did they do? Oh, they were prepared, ready. Okay, right. That's because you don't have goofballs at the helm, an awful lot of them. And actually, their way of life hinges on those things being opened. God give me strength. But anyway, there you go. That's what your government thinks of you there. The whole talks on it. Not like, no, we'll release that immediately. No. They can release it immediately to other kips around the world, but not to Cork there. That's amazing, isn't it? Am I right in saying Cork there? I hope I am. Maybe they didn't know you thought no. Anyway, we keep going on. Greta Thunberg. So everyone's favourite potato. A lot of people say online. Everyone's favourite individual that is another actor, of course. Doesn't know what to say when interviewed by people in a real interview, but can parrot all of the, I'll tell you. I genuinely think it was bad for them to use, what was a 13-year-old autistic child to say such nonsense about the climate. And now they keep profiting off this person. This person doesn't know anything. And by the way, wasn't this a person that said 5 years ago that the world would end in 5 years? Remember that post that she made on Twitter that she since deleted when people brought an awful lot of attention to that? Remember that one there? That seems to have been quietly deleted, but it was loudly enough done because everyone went, whoa, look what happened over here. So anyway, everyone's favourite oddball says Greta Thunberg deletes I stand with that place there. Old Paul Gascoigne. We go with that. Social media, you won't be able to say Paul Gascoigne's nickname you won't. Now, this is the way these things work. And anyway, you're now playing a game with these things. Social media posts after critics claim stuffed octopus in photo could be viewed as anti-juice symbol. As she says, the toy helps her with her autism. Now, lads, this is a real article. I mean, wow. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that they've gone to that length there to be like, by the way, that's it's a what? How is an octopus that? What's the relation between that? I know we've said it before that you look at the likes of Spectre, for example, and you go, well, that's an octopus symbol. It's probably the very same with these people as well, but I don't know. That's a very odd thing to do, isn't it? I don't know about you, but it's a lot of people starting to notice things. Anyway, here's Mick. And Mick here on Twitter, this is his handle, by the way, if you're not following him already, follow him. 112,000 views, 776 likes. Not bad at all. It was reported at the time that Aisling Murphy, so by the way, this is a court case that's going on right now, and things are starting to get strange when it comes to this. What do I mean strange? Well, the defendant, according to the articles that I've seen online, the defendant allegedly confessed within 2 days. And then he's now pleading not guilty. How does that work out? And why is that happening? Why is that the case? Anyway, Mick goes on and says, it was reported at the time that Aisling Murphy was this here. Today, we learned that she was 11 times. Strange. So this is said, the court told Puska confessed involvement in it. And the man accused of this school teacher, Aisling Murphy, confessed involvement to Gardaí 2 days later. He told the Central Criminal Court has been told. Puska pleaded not guilty to Miss Murphy at the Grand Canal in Tullamore while she was out for a run. The court was told by prosecution that she was, yourself, 11 times in the neck by Mr. Puska. The Daily Mail reported over here, Irish teacher, while out jogging, was, entangled while putting up a brave fight. Okay, that wasn't the only article that put that out, though. The Donegal Daily did too. They said tragic teacher Aisling was entangled. Okay, now I'm obviously dancing around certain words there as well too, as you know, but I mean that's the case that you have on this platform for anyone that's listening here. How did the media get that so wrong? What sort of information were they given? Why was that information given out if that was incorrect? I mean, the Gardaí that are on the scene are very clear about what they seen within 15 to 20 minutes. So how did that information get out into the media? How did it stay so long in the media? And how did it then only be found out now that this is actually what happened? I'm sure people that are related to her and people that knew her knew this that had happened, but this is the first time that I've heard of that. Is it the first time you've heard of that? First time I have. Now, we live in a point in time now where it's difficult to believe anything the media say nowadays. But here, Mick has caught out the media in HD saying something that is completely the opposite of what seems to be reported now. So how are they getting that so wrong? Who's corresponding with these people to let them know this? And why did they do that? Now, my opinion, because I always share opinions on these things, is that obviously that is far more graphic than that. I know people that say ninja, and I agree. Both are as bad as the other. But that's far less graphic than that. I mean, that puts in a different type of image into your head than that one does. Okay? And that's just me speaking, just personally, just on the way I'm thinking here. And that is something that is completely different what they're reporting now than what they did at the time. A lot of people in their minds will go, my God, that's shocking, that's terrible, they will. And they think then, okay, but to be done 11 times like that is horrendous. And it's an extremely violent crime, as if the other one isn't a violent crime. It is a violent crime. But this one is, there's just something extra to things like that. And this is what I say, and I said at the time, and maybe even since then, I put up a poll, a Twitter poll, about how people should be able to carry in this country. This is where we're going. And I mean, this is because of an open borders policy, by the way. This isn't because people are conspiracy theories or anything like that. This is because this is what's going on in this country right now, where this fella had some sort of weapon and used it. Now, that's not to say that people can't use other things as weapons. I totally agree with you when you say that. But average Joe Soap doesn't have the ability to have a taser, doesn't have the ability to have mace, doesn't have the ability, by the way, either to have a boomstick unless it has a license. So if you're a woman, for example, and this is where this starts to get very real then for an awful lot of women in particular, it's real for men too. Let's not make any mistake about that, because if you have one of these animals that's coming along with a knife and you're of old stock that just likes to, yourself, you're at a serious disadvantage here as well. So everyone's in this boat here where things used to be the way they were, and now it's changed because these fellas and women as well too, because it's not only just men that do these things, it's women as well too from these other places, are happy to carry these things and use these things. Well, you have to look at this and say there needs to be a very big talking point now, and it still hasn't been. Obviously, the media won't do it, but people have to lead the charge on this about having people to be able to be, we would say, capable of defending oneself. And I know there'll be people in there, and I know I suggested it before as well too, where you talk about women going to martial arts and all that. But listen, real talk here. You can do all of the jiu-jitsu and all of the martial arts in the world that you want, but if you have an animal like that coming at you with that sort of stuff there, you're not in a good situation. That's the real talk on that one there. So this is an incredibly sad story, and stories like these are going to only be repeated with the current way things are going. This is why when why the media is losing credibility and why it's losing the fight in calling people far right and calling people racists and that. They're losing the fight because when people see articles like this, they go, hold the phone here. Hold on. That could be me. That could be my mom. That could be my daughter. That could be my sister. That could be my granddaughter. That could be my grandmother. That could be my auntie. That could be my girlfriend. That could be my fiance. That could be my wife. That's what people look at. And they go, hang on here for a sec. So this whole march towards, people are racist. No. People are sensible and they're realist and they're understanding what's going on, that they are being put at risk. Your politicians aren't walking around or living in these areas that they're shoving people like this guy into. They're not living in these places. They've no sort of idea of what's going on. And isn't that ironic when you think about it, that a politician here in this country, like Leo Varadkar, will duck into a car as soon as possible he will there, rather than face someone that is asking them a question. But these are the same politicians that are willing to put your life in danger by putting people that are coming from all sorts of places with no history with no knowledge of who or what they are into this country and into this community and into our communities. That's not happening. And that's why you're seeing, for example, in Buncrana, if you haven't seen that there's been brilliant videos that have come out there of people blocking off. And it's all dudes, by the way, that are coming in hand over fist in vans into their area to be shoved into their area. And I said it beforehand, and I'll say it again. The country people are going to be the ones that are going to be decisive when it comes to these things. Now, listen, I love Dublin, and you know I do, and I love Dublin as much as the next person. But Dublin is too big. And that's where we've had an issue here for a very long time. Communities have been split. They have been splintered. Factions have occurred. You also then have people then moving out of their own areas because of the price of houses now, and they've been pushed out by various reasons. But what you're seeing in the country, for example, is real communities, real unity that are not going to have this sort of stuff. And I stand with those people, and I stand with people here all over Dublin that are doing the exact same thing. I know I'm not talking Dublin down, but certainly I'm saying that it's great to see Dublin communities fighting back and saying, no, we're not having this. It's great to see what was happening in Ballybrack. It's awesome. Love that. Love to see what's going on there outside Clondalkin and Tallaght as well. It's brilliant. It's excellent stuff. But when you see what's going on in Buncrana as well, you have to say hats off to that too, because those are people that are getting together, mobilised and saying, I'm not having this. Because here's the thing, and what I explained to people for a very long time, you have people in uniform there that aren't from this county or aren't from the counties that they're working in or not from the areas, and they don't give a fiddlers until it's going to happen on their doorstep. And then they're going to go, oh, here, hang on here. And that's when the going's going to get funny, because they'll go, well, I don't want that happening here. This is the end result of things like this, and this is preventable, absolutely preventable, because people are looking back, and not even at just the border, but they're looking back and saying, well, what happens with the likes of your Lisbon treaties? When we said, no, yeah, you're all right, no, we don't want any of that. And then they came back and then they were like, oh, no, that got over the line. I don't believe any of that sort of stuff either. I don't think that's as they would say, kosher. If by calling me anti-Voldemort, you mean I'm totally opposed to putting synthetic nut stuff made by habitually criminal companies who aren't liable for any sort of issue, for a theory that relies on flawed reasoning, speculation, and pseudo-scientific presuppositions, you'd be right. ND Senator who called for long-term damage study no longer with us. Oh, that isn't it? How many times things like that happening, isn't it? There's a 1 in 11 million, I think this person said. Odds of that happening is 1 in 11 million. Seems to happen to some of these people an awful lot. It never convinced me that this is normal. Never. No, it's absolutely not normal. How come these people have no interest in talking to elderly people in old folks' homes? How come they always want to talk to little kids? It's weird, isn't it? It's very strange. Anyway, we keep moving on. Got this here as well. I just wanted to show this because this is some of the stuff that you're getting on Gab as well. It's not getting anywhere else. In this episode, we explore the 7 health wonders of turmeric's most active agent, curcumin. So we have this here is a big sea fighter. Who knows? I think that the big sea fighter, by the way, I think that is probably the most inexpensive thing that is possibly available, because there isn't a way, in my opinion, that they can be running around still going, we don't know what to fix this. Did you not see what happened over in the white flag, blue star waving country? Did you not see that there? They have a laser shoot into the sky. But they don't have a cure for this. Right. Okay. Padraig Martin puts this out here. The amount of money we're sending to the white flag, blue star waving country does not resemble aid to our ally. It resembles tribute paid to our conqueror. Couldn't have said it better myself. Gerald Salente is on this one here. Markets in the Middle East melting down, gold up. Fantastic guy, and really interesting. He's losing the plot now over there because the stuff that's going on in America is doing his wick in. He's one of those Americans, by the way, that realizes what's going on, and he's like, oh my God. And it's the same as Salty Cracker as well, too. They're two guys that know what's going on. Patrick Bet-David as well is another good one. Obviously, Joe Rogan as well have figured out what I'm talking about, but this guy is talking about it from a money point of view, and an awful lot of the time he talks about, for example, when all else fails, they take you to war is one of his things that he says, and it's constantly something that's becoming true, and resoundingly, when they try to get boots on the ground in the likes of the blue and yellow flag waving country, people went, nah, you're all right, we don't want to go over there. Then they were like, yikes, what do we do? Well, we try and get people over there, we will, by hook or by crook, and they didn't go. And anyway, now they're trying it in somewhere else, and they're going, yeah, we want to go over there. We want to sort out the Middle East. And I think most people that are over there that have either done the tour beforehand are probably going, not worth that there, because we're going over there and we're messing with go herders, and these fellas definitely have no no interest in backing down. They ain't gonna stop them. But anyway, very good there when it comes to the likes of money, and it's all about money with these people as well too. Money and power, as you know. What you can see here from the Epoch Times, as we're finding out the White House's new office to stop the boomstick stuff is staffed with anti-boomstick activists. Will this office have any real authority? Then they say this here. They say about this stuff here in feeding mothers pass certain stuff from the Voldemort onto their infants. So this is stuff that you're not seeing in the likes of the mainstream. This is stuff that they want to breeze on past, by the way. They want you to forget about people taking this stuff from companies with long histories of criminal behavior and criminal penalties. They want you to forget about that. They want you to forget about people that are having cases of the suddenlies, people that are having cases of like for example, of turbo cancers. People, the cancer rates have to be through the roof now at this moment in time. And not only that, then the amount of people that are going from like 0 to stage 4 is at an all-time high. I mean, here's how things are weird. You have Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy, a guy that was absolutely beloved by fandoms and various other industry people that are out there. They don't talk about him. They don't say anything about him. Nothing at all. Isn't that strange? And yet, they eulogize other people they will hand over a fist. But they say nothing about guys like that. They won't say anything about other people as well. Look at Bob Saget, Gilbert Gottfried. They won't say anything about those guys. Edwin van der Sar, it's gone very quiet with relation to him. Shane Warne, they won't say anything about him either. What's happening there? Justin Bieber and his wife. What's going on there? You know what I mean? All these things intrinsically linked now. So anyway, this stuff is being passed on to infants through milk from the mother. So I think that's the best way to talk around that point. Anyway, the new study from the Lancet shows that nursing mothers do pass that stuff from Voldemort to their infants through milk. So there you go. Is that not conclusive proof then? And that's a very big negative. Now, you've heard, and I've heard as well too, of all sorts of odd things in the last while. I've heard of people getting certain Voldemorts and then end up then getting whatever was advertised of them not getting. Then you've also heard of chronic illnesses and immune systems being absolutely shot for when it comes to young people, and you're going, what's going on here? And then you look back and you go, did you do any? And did you do that then too? And you're going, oh, you know what I mean? And it's the light bulb moments in your head, and you're like, I don't know if it's... Listen, I think there's people that are out there right now that are talking about detoxes, for example. I think that's worth looking into. But on the flip side of it, I'm like, well, if I'm going to say anything, is it going to change anything here? I don't know. I'm always on the side of, hey, there's a thing there that can detox you from that sort of stuff, but whether they listen or not, it's up to them, unfortunately. Woman claims, this is something I just like to throw out there. Sometimes there's a bit of a difference as to what's happening in the world there. The independent.co.uk put this out. Woman claims she spent 15 years acting out revenge on man who wronged her friend. You've been quietly dismantling this dumb man's life for years, says TikToker. So as I said here as well, I said when women fail, it's celebrated, but it's actually stalking and harassment that this woman is up to here, because she stalks this dude for 15 years. And what is the thing that she's saying? I made up multiple different social media accounts so I could post spoilers of the Big Bang Theory to this guy. Now, any dude that's watching the Big Bang Theory, I don't know what's really going on with you, because that is a completely wrong individual performance to be looking at, because the 4 fellas that are in it are complete and utter dweebs. And those dudes then are... You look at the last 15, 20 years of sitcoms. I think of a post down here maybe. The last 15, 20 years of sitcoms, have a look at the people and the dudes that they're actually promoting on those things. You've got that dude Ross from Friends, who was an absolute simp and he was an absolute loser. And you've got your man Ted then from the How I Met Your Mother. Have a look. He's another one. I mean, how bad is it that he's the star of the show apparently, and the best person on the show is Barney Stinson, played by gay actor Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, and now Barney Stinson is supposed to be straight on the show as well. Like, that's how bad that is. That you've got a main character there that's absolutely devoid of any sort of masculinity at all. Then you've got the likes of the Big Bang Theory, which is 4 dudes that are running around with no masculinity about them at all. And very strange, simping type behaviour. So, I don't know what this dude is doing watching that show, but certainly posting spoilers to a guy for 15 years categorises to me as probably stalking, possibly even harassment. No? And then she tops it all off and makes a wild claim. And this is the thing, because this woman has an issue with this person, she then claims then, oh, I set up this private email or private social media account and sent a Reddit link to his account to his now fiance, who then broke off the engagement. I was like, listen here, this sounds like lies. This sounds like absolute lies. But this is what's been celebrated in the media, and this is what's been pushed forward by the social media companies. You look, for example, as well, a big video came out during the week of, I'm going to say a big video, it was of a black woman in America, and this guy, he looked kind of Indian, he did. Now, he was American, I mean, Indian American, I suppose, if you're going to go with that. But he was taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. And what was so interesting, this woman had a bad attitude, right? I'm just going to dip into this stuff here now for a moment because it's always fun to do it. She had a bad attitude. Long story short, you'll see the video, you will. I'll probably recommend it to you now, the fact that I've said Cheesecake Factory, to see how the analytics work. Her attitude was, I'm not getting out the car. I ain't getting out because I don't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And your man's like, listen, I'm coming around to your side to open the door for you, to get you out, to then pay for your meal. And what's the problem? She's like, I got done up and I'm all looking like this. The woman is a 4, an absolute 4, but thinks she's a 10. And she's sitting there and you're going, what's this? What's the plan here? So the dude anyway gets back into the car. She starts to go forward over and say, oh, I think I'm worth this, and how dare you bring me to the Cheesecake Factory? And then he drops a bombshell. He goes, you were an hour late. And she was like, So we started to push back. She didn't know what to say. So then she starts going out after him saying, well, I got on myself all did up for you and everything like that. And he goes, okay. He says, well, if you don't want to go here, we'll go home. Well, her attitude changes really quickly. She's like, oh, no, you're really serious about bringing me home? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to drop you off now. It's you showed what type of person you are, and I'm not interested in dealing with you. And this is where we're at right now. Now, as I keep saying to people, and the point is this, they do want to have men and women at each other, like these types of articles. And this is where I'm bringing this back to. They do want men and women disliking each other. And the reason for that is why? Is so that people don't procreate. That's why. It's as simple as that. So as people have issues with each other and so that they won't procreate. And what you have now, unfortunately, after the last couple of generations, and this is why when people say, oh, you're critical of older generations and people in their 70s, and that, absolutely I am. They raised generations. I mean, you have generations of people now, in particular women, that don't understand what's going on. They have no concept nor clue what's going on. And when stuff gets real, they tell you that they're just as good as you are and they're as equal as you and all that. But when it kicks off and it's like a bit of a battle or a war going on, they're like, oh, no, we're all mentally ill. We can't do that. We won't go. No, we're not equal. It all changes real quick, sure. If you don't believe me, talk to a woman and ask her, would you get rid of a spider out of the house? The women in the chat be like, Nani and G are dead right there. I wouldn't be getting any involvement in getting spiders out of houses there. And they go, yeah, no problem there. They'd be all combative about that. And they go, oh, no, you take care of the spiders. Now, I know there'll be one or two there that'll go, I take care of the ninja. I take care of the spiders. But anyway, that's the type of stuff that you have now in the media. The media are pushing back. And they're trying to set women against men and men against women. That's what they're trying to do. But you see base podcasts like, for example, the Fresh and Fit podcast. I always like to promote them to the lads that are out there. Because these guys are bringing people on, like women, for example, that are making content out of selling pictures of themselves and videos of themselves, doing certain stuff that you're never going to get back. And no prospective man is going to look at that and go, yeah, no, I'm going to wife her up. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff I hear over the last couple of years with people is just ridiculous. I'd be looking going, yikes, man. Absolute yikes. Anyway, we shall move on and we shall go into the world and see what's happening in Australia. Now, lads, honestly, when it came to this video, there's one thing I want you to notice when we see this video here. And we'll see this going on in a second. I'll try and pause it.
Mark Liebler, Thomas Mayo, Anthony Pratt.
Now, what I'm going to do is just point you, and this is the difference between men and women, by the way. I just want to say this, and I want to preface this. Sure, you'll see faces from these guys here that are like, okay, look at her face, and then look at her face as this progresses on. What he's saying is important, but what they show, to me, is the difference between men and women in a nutshell. This woman's face categorically says he shouldn't be saying that and shut him down. This woman's the same. Whereas this guy is saying it, and Miles, these fellas don't agree with it. And don't forget, there are soy boys that are out there that are on the left that don't want you to be able to talk as much as anyone else. But I do find that an awful lot of the time, and you will too as well, you know, when you're out with your mates and you're out with a couple of lads and stuff like that, and they happen to bring their girlfriends, and sometimes one of the lads might say something like, and then the woman will pipe up and she'll say, "Oh, don't be saying that." And sometimes the lad will not do that. He'll actually will pull back. I'm one of the guys that goes, keep saying what you're saying. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Say what you have to say. Because we're living in a point in time where things have been flipped. Men are being told that their opinions aren't worth listening to. But this fella hits the nail on the head. That's the point of what I'm going to say here. This fella hits the nail on the head. And whilst you might look a little bit shocked and say, this isn't PC, that's not right, that's not what we want to hear, it's still a fact what he's saying. And people are starting to notice things now, and especially the dudes, because here's the thing. When it comes to problems kicking off in your community, the women that are giving you all sort of guff now at the moment, saying to you, I don't want to make you a sandwich, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't think you are as equal as I am. When the going gets rough, who are they going to turn and look at? Who are they going to turn and look at? I have to keep just quoting and referencing the Fresh and Fit podcast. I have to keep quoting and referencing Kevin Samuels. I have to keep referencing the Tates, because these guys are all saying these things that are very real possibilities. And this is where we've been led to. We've been led now into a country that, when I say that, we've been led into a situation here in this country where you have infinite amount of dudes running around this country now. The feminists that are geeking out of them, and the women that are out there that are thinking, I'm a strong, independent woman, don't need no man. They're going to flip. They're going to flip into the biggest supporters of men when the going gets tough. They're already doing it. They're already starting. Where are all the men? What's happening? Why won't you defend us? A lot of dudes looking at you and going, I don't want to defend you because of what you've done over the last number of years. Because this is the part that the media and social media and entertainment industry have played. They have poisoned an awful lot of the minds of women. And as I said, not only them, but previous generations as well too. I know women that are out there. Listen, I know women that are out there that don't know how to cook. Like, that's a basic skill that should be taught to you by your mother, in my humble opinion. And that's still not found. And there's dudes that are wifing women like that. I'm like, what are you doing? People that say, oh, but the dude's a chef. The point still remains. The point still remains. What's the gig? What's happening? And so what happens then? What happens if you have a child then and she doesn't know how to cook? What's she going to do? She's going to sit around and wait for you to come home to feed the child? Like, what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to just go around and they go around to the likes of the takeout. Oh, that's great. That's nutritious, isn't it? Anyway, we'll jump into this here, because these are the things that the media is doing with articles like those. They're encouraging people to dislike each other. They're encouraging men and women to dislike each other when that shouldn't be the case. Men and women should get on 100%. But what has happened is, and as you can quite clearly tell, there has been multiple movements that have happened over the years that women are starting to realise now themselves that the feminism movement sold them a bad pup. How did it sell them a bad pup? It told them that they're going to be just as happy being in work, being told what to do by someone else, than they would be at home being asked to do with love and care by the husband. And that was a lie, because they're all miserable. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're doing right now. This is what we're doing as a population. And yet then you have people entering into this country that are getting into freak apps night, that the dude's going out doing whatever he's doing, and your woman's standing there and she's hanging around with the kids now. You know what I mean? They're coming from cultures where they're not having any of this sort of messing. Insane, man. It's insane. Let's have a look at this.
Mark Liebler, Thomas Mayo, Anthony Pratt, Justice Stephen Rothman, Julian Lisa, Josh Burns, Kim Rubenstein, and Mark Dreyfus. This is what it said. All of the major creators, financiers, and supporters of the Voice to Parliament are Jewish. Ask yourself why 0.38% of Australia's population is using 3% as a battering ram against the rest of the country every single time, full stop.
See that? See her expression change? Now, what he's stating is facts, but what the likes of the media, and I suppose I'm doing it to some extent as well too, I'm highlighting these two women, whereas these guys are just like, can't argue against that there, because that's facts and figures there, and names as well. Stein is in there. Yikes. You know, the other ones you might have gotten away with there, but once you went out with the Stein, yikesies, guys, yikesies. So then you hear as well here in Irish Senate, at the Irish Senate here, the Senate, they were talking about, hey, in the hate speech bill, we're going to have to put in some stuff there, legislation about anti-Semitism. And you're going, why? Sure, why would we do that? Because what's happening now is all planned. Because everybody knows that you have one of the most guarded states with high-end security that are firing lasers into the air, but they were caught by surprise by 500 people on paragliders. Oh, it's insane. The top people would believe that, and people are like, wait, hang on here for a sec. And what's been said? We're just going to steamroll that gang over there, and we are going to make sure that they are not going to be here anymore, and they liken them then to animals. They didn't actually liken them to animals, didn't they not? No, they called them animals. Oh, right. Well, interesting times are ahead, because the narrative you see of what has happened over the last week or two has been blown apart on social media. People are like, hang on here, this isn't how they said it beforehand. But this guy, anyway, fair play to him, stood up and went, yikes, let's have a look at this here, guys. We need to be asking questions. Interesting stuff. Anyway, we'll move on to this country, because this country, of course, more important. But it's important to know who's pulling the strings. Anyway, Grip put this up here. Now, I'll show you something that Grip put up there during the week, and I'll tell you, people are going to go, not Grip themselves, but one of the people. And I was like, sights were on you for a long time, buddy. And I was proved right. Excess passing monitored as an indicator of the impact of climate change, says Grit. Considerable analysis is ongoing. The fact that this fella isn't in prison says everything. The fact that a number of people in the government aren't in prison, nor NEFA, nor the HSE, nor the media are in prison, is really a true characteristic of how badly this country is run. That's what they're doing. They're trying to put it down to the climate's changing, guys. Stupidity. That's absolute stupidity of the highest regard. 3 new Gardaí on the beat in Carlow as superintendent welcomes new recruits. Foreigners policing the Irish people. How this country has fallen. End of. RFK on Twitter. He says, now I've had to change a couple of these things, by the way, just as you know, so the quote isn't full. Your chance of dying of a heart attack from that V, according to Pease, the company beginning with Pease, on data, on studies, is 500% greater than if you're unV'd. So they knew they were going to a lot of people, and they did it anyway. So there you go, from the horse's mouth there. He knows what's going on. Derek Blog on Instagram, live regular Middleton. So that's the video I showed you earlier on. Iron Beam. People think I'm messing when I say these things. This is from Google, by the way. Iron Beam, the white flag, blue star waving country. Deadly laser tech can be used against the missiles and how it works. But that was a conspiracy theory. You said that was a conspiracy theory 5 years ago, and people said that they possess things like this. You also said it's a conspiracy theory to say that they can affect the weather. But now they're actively telling you that they can affect the weather. But they have lasers like this. And this throws into a new thing where a conspiracy theory, I mean, as it was called, was that these people had space lasers. Juice, particularly space lasers. And people are like, that's a dog whistle. And you can't say that. That's a very negative thing. And now it's been published and proven to be correct. If the Iron Beam is used in an active combat service, it'll be a critical move by that certain place to fortify its air defense in the midst of ongoing conflict. Now, I saw the video with that, and it's something else. Honest to God, it is something else. When you see this beam just shoom out, I was like, that is like something out of Star Wars. And this is happening. This is real. So now I'm looking at it going, okay, what other sort of technology do you have? And any of that other technology that we thought wasn't a thing is definitely a thing now. What's happening is, if you're not noticing what's going on, and you're only in here and you've only sort of figured out what's going on, the world is a stage, the masks are coming off, and things are being revealed faster than ever. And it is thanks to social media. So let's keep going. This was an article, by the way, that I'm going to highlight as well too. First of all, I want to say full and total sympathies, as I always will say, to the family, the relatives, and the person themselves. My total sympathies and truly go towards these people. I mean, this is a horrific situation to happen. You see this image here now, and this was one of the few articles that are out there that posted her image. There was a number of them that decided to not post the image at all. And I said to myself, that's weird. And this is just something that I noticed. I'm like, that's strange. And obviously, as well, when you see someone was in Spain, I think they were supposed to be in Benidorm, as far as I know. Obviously, when you see a headline like that, you say to yourself, no, that could be a 70-year-old or 80-year-old woman that went across a couple of the bingo grannies, you know yourself, that go over to these places and have a good time. No, 45-year-old woman, allegedly, expectedly, I think she was 45 there. Northern Ireland woman passes while on holiday in Spain. No one lit up a room like she did. So, another suddenly. Are we looking into that? And I mean, not we, because we're not part of Northern Ireland, but are Northern Ireland looking into this? Are they looking into the excess that's going on there? And suddenly, no? Just a question. That's just a question. This is something I was talking about earlier on. Connacht Tribune.ie, $250,000 spent on 2 public benches in City described as biggest farce of all time. Connacht Tribune. A spend of €250,000 on 2 public benches in the city has been described as the biggest farce of all time at this week's meeting of Galway City Council. A senior executive defended it. So, $250,000 has been spent on 2 benches. This is how fiscally and financially irresponsible this country is, and the people that are running the show are. That you can spend $250,000 on 2 benches. This is the price of some gaffs down the country. You'd probably buy a serious gaff, you would, for $250,000, you would. $250,000 wouldn't get you much down. Dublin, everything is 6 figures nowadays, and not much is at 250,000. I can tell you that, because they've inflated it through the roof they have. But that's going to show you where money has been spent and just idly been pissed away. What's been done? Nothing. Just Minister announces age limit increase to 50 for new Gardaí. It's insane. To boost recruitment. That's because you've got loads of people arriving into the country that are over the age of 40 and that, you know what I mean? So this is why you'll see Buckhouse like a man up above here. This fella become a bit more, to be a more senior members of this guy joining the place. And not only just him, not just singling him out, but people from other places as well too, because this place is open season now. And that's what they're doing with the Gardaí. What a clown show. Oh yeah, we're going to enter into the Gardaí up to the age of 50. Great. So what happens there? Well, they enter people in at their age, and have they got a chance of a pension? No. But guess what, guys? You might be lucky enough that they might extend it there to 30 years service from 50 to 80 there in the Guards. You might be able to work all the way to the age of 80. Great stuff there, guys. All well done. Well, what will happen then? Everybody else will have to work till 80 with them, won't they? Home truths. We're witnessing the slow passing of the Irish rental market. The Sinn Féin opposition is labelling on budget 2024 as the landlord's budget thanks to the new landlord tax relief is somewhat ironic. We are seeing an end to the Irish rental market, and it's entering into the you'll own nothing and be happy market. That's what's happening. And that is the mantra that is said by the forum. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's where they're moving towards. They're moving towards you not being able to. I mean, some of the people that I've been talking to recently telling me how much they're spending on rent. And I'm like, how are you surviving? Now, some of these people are eating pot noodles there, and that's no joke. No joke. Working good jobs and are eating pot noodles there to get by. I'm looking at them going, not worth that, man. Absolutely not worth that. And then I'm like, have you not seen the people that are coming into your local town, into your local county, into your county? And are you not seeing the fact that they're getting homes for free and everything else? And these people are, yeah, but sure, look. One of the worst phrases that are here in Ireland is, but sure, look. Absolute nonsense. And that's what you're saying. A couple in Ireland say relatives kidnapped. Okay. Are you going over and you're going to sort things out? No? All right. Judge stops legal or terminates legal costs hearing because of Amy Burke's conduct. Judge will decide the issue based on written submissions from the parties. Conduct, me arse. Anyway, we'll keep going there. We all know what's going on there. Egypt warned the white flag, blue star waving country days before the gang struck. US committee chairman says. So this was narrative stopped in record time because they went, oh, hang on here. We told you that this was going to happen. Told you that. And now, like, the initial thing was, oh, we were caught by surprise. No, you weren't. They told you. But the PM describes any claim it received a specific warning as totally fake news. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. There's another thing I saw. Just on not on football stuff or anything like that at the moment, but an ex-Man United star. I know he was looking and I was like, I wonder who that is. Is it Paul Scholes? Is it Andy Cole? Ruud van Nistelrooy? Is it Roy Keane that was saying this? Gary Neville? No. Former Manchester United defender Paul Parker. Who the fuck is that guy? Thinks Mark Goldbridge and other YouTubers become a problem for the Premier League club. Now, when these people are saying this, Paul Parker does be on Sky Sports. Now, I didn't know who Paul Parker was. And people would say, well, aren't you a fan of that club? Listen, Gary Neville took over at that moment in time, as Gary Neville likes to say himself. Gary Neville took over and Paul Parker was injured for, what was it, that he played at the club, I think, for 5 years there and was injured for the last 2 years. So that was the emergence of Neville. And he won 2 Premier League titles in the 5 years that he was at the club. So I wouldn't say he was that pivotal. Other people might disagree. But anyway, kicked to the curb because of the injury issues, and that was it then. He wasn't heard much of since then. On Sky Sports now, spouting out on these type of things. The media and entertainment and celebrity have become very irritated by people, and when they say people are a problem, look at Jermaine Genius, for example. I know people might say, well, this is getting off topic. It's not, because it's all related. Jermaine Genius had a show on BBC. This is a former Premier League footballer himself. They had DJs, people from reality TV shows. They had the likes of Alex Scott that's out there. They had all of these people on his show. It flopped. Flopped, it did. Why did it flop? Because Jermaine Genius doesn't possess a personality. And neither do an awful lot of these pundits. And I have to say, credit to Kevin Keegan. Kevin Keegan came out and said he's not a fan of listening to lady pundits. Sensible stuff. I agree with him. What sort of clue would the likes of Alex Scott have about the men's game? None. Has loads of a clue about women's game, so she should be punditing on a women's game, not in the men's. Some of the stuff you hear. Anyway, going back onto this here. The reason why they're trying to hit out at people being independent and giving their own opinions and calling them a problem is because they can say what they like. Goldbridge says what he likes, as do I, to a degree, obviously, because you know you're sort of hands are tied with certain things that you can say and talk about here on this place. But the thing is, these places hate that. They absolutely hate that because you're getting more numbers than they are, you're getting more support than they are, and that's starting to diminish their, I would say, role in all of this here. Paul Parker wants to be the only one that can criticise and talk about Manchester United, along with Rio Ferdinand and various other goofs that are trying to make a name and keep themselves in the limelight off of the club. But when it comes to a fella that's there himself there, talking about it and saying what most people are thinking, I don't always agree with him. Same way people listening to me and they say, I don't always agree with you. But like, that's where you're at now. You're actively seeing people now in the media that are working for the media. They're in these big jobs, taking pot shots at people going, oh, I don't know what that person's saying over there. That's because he's affecting you. He has 1.7 million subscribers. And that's why these people are going, because he's pulling in numbers. And it's blown away all of the sort of stuff that these people can say. Anyway, keep moving. Irish citizenship application made available online for the first time. That's treason, is it not? That's outrageous that that's happening. And this is what I say to people all the time when people talk about certain issues and problems that we have in this country. And I say, isn't it amazing that you have Gardaí and the videos that they are making on the likes of Facebook there, where they're doing joke social media posts, calling out to radio stations, and this sort of shit is going on. You have corruption at an all-time high in this country. You have politicians that are engaging in active and, in my opinion, high treason against this country. And not only that, then, you have borders that are wide open that these fuckers are supposed to be protecting Irish people from, and instead they're out there having a law. And instead they're corralling around vans to get people into areas that they're not even supposed to be in. It's insane. It's insane. And now you have this here. Oh, you're being given passports. You've been given citizenships. Like they're skills. It's shocking. Do you know how bad things are? This is how bad things are. This goes to show you how much of a Mickey Mouse situation we have here. Jude Bellingham, that plays for Real Madrid, who was an English player, was told by Real Madrid, do you have anybody that's a family member that can claim in a European country? And Jude Bellingham, I'm sure, racked his brain and said, I do. And I think he has something like a grandmother that was from Ireland. That sham is coming across here to claim Irish citizenship so Real Madrid can get a tax break. That's where we're at. That's how Mickey Mouse this place is. My grandmother was from there. I've no inkling of ever gone there, but I'm going to get a citizenship so the Real Madrid can profit off that there. Nice one. People would say clever business move from Real Madrid and they can field another European in their team officially. Yeah, sure. But here's the thing. This goes to show you what a Mickey Mouse situation we have here when that club can identify that. And don't think it's just that club that's identifying that. There's people that are being promoted to across the world. There was a video that I don't know whether it was Mick or whether it was Toby that put up of an Indian fella that was on social media promoting to other Indian people. This is how you come to Ireland and you make your application and you make it there and this is how you get it. And I'm looking and going like that. Holy shit. Like, this is a country that has 4 million to 5 million, maybe even plus now at this stage of the game. It's probably way more than that anyway, to truth be told. And this dude is telling a country full of, what is it? I don't know what the last figure is on India. A huge population, just put it that way, in comparison to this one. And this dude is telling these people, this is how you get here. Oh, lads. And then you look at the continent of Africa and you go, so you're supposed to fit all of these people from that continent into here, along with people from China, along with people from India, and from various other places then across. Stop the lights. Stop the lights. Absolute clown world that we're living in, lads. Absolute clown world that we're living in. We've had enough. Absolutely have had enough. Honest to God. Now, this is something I'm going to show you. This is something that's super annoying, by the way, about Gab. They've changed up how they show you the images from the last couple of weeks. And it's really annoying, rather than being able to just click in and out. So Thomas P. Sheridan put this up. And he says, this is the person and professional victim complex who got Enoch Burke jailed for the crime of wanting to teach his students. Anita Safiak now went on a blocking spree not too long after being outed after saying some silly things online. And she says, good morning all. In the past month, I've cried, slept, had an infinite number of panic attacks and eaten too much ice cream. No, I'm still no better from the sniffles. And I'm on the countdown to my surgery number 1. Worried and overwhelmed by Jonathan's decline. Life sucks. That's the tweet. So Thomas went on to say, don't do evil things to people who intended you no personal harm. It comes back. This is my reaction to all of those people when they do things like this. That's it. Because when I look at things like this here and her saying these things, I think, that's what I think. That Ronaldo image, I'm going to just use it. For when people are posting things like that, I just go, lefty, are you? Yeah, okay. There you go. Have a Robert De Niro. Have a Cristiano Ronaldo, Robert De Niro. So we'll keep moving on, guys. We'll keep moving through a couple of the memes that I have here as well to show you. Watching friends and family choking down red pills as the apocalypse dawns. Love that one. These are always open to people, by the way, to take and share around as much as possible. Bomb. Bad one. Agreeable. Good. Very good. What one? The memes that are flying around are great. This is another banger. That's an absolute banger, lads. Honestly, that's absolutely phenomenal. That's in real time what you're seeing. Oh, stop. And again, another one. Another banger. That's another cracker there. Have to be honest. It's the same time. Now, that's my favourite one that I've seen in quite some time. I live in England. I'm English. I live in China. I'm Chinese. This is what I say all the time. I'm like, how ridiculous would it be of me to go across to China or Japan and say to them, I'm as Japanese as you are, or I'm as Chinese as you are. These people, by the way, these people on the left-hand side seem to think that people like me are going to go, oh no, yeah, you can totally tell me that these people are as Irish as I am. Never going to happen. It's not happening. The same way that if we went over to these countries, these people, rightfully so, would laugh. Absolutely 100%. Sure, there's people in those societies that would go, yeah, no, you are. But the majority of them would go, no, not happening. You're forever regarded as something else. You're not regarded as Japanese or Chinese, lads. Can assure you that. Far right rally in Gondor. This is brilliant. I love this sort of stuff here as well. Lord of the Rings memes with politically incorrect themes. Thousands of racist Rohirrim. Now, anyone that doesn't know the Rohirrim are the good guys in Lord of the Rings. Attend an anti-orc rally led by Theoden. I'm sure I'm actually surprised that the meme page didn't put in like far right Theoden there as well too, or supreme Theoden, some of their favorite words. But that's what we're seeing. You've got the orcs at the gate there, and you've orcs running around the place, and people are going, no, that's cool. And anytime you ask these people, you say, how many of these people are you housing yourself? And they all go quiet or they block you. Very interesting sort of behavior. Not feminism is the idea that women are free when they serve their employers, but slaves when they serve their husband and children. That's how they tie up women over the last 60 odd years, lads. Laughs in toxic masculinity. John Wayne. Another meme that you have to take and share to people. That's another banger as well too. Absolutely love John Wayne. Fantastic stuff there. Brilliant. But what have we got here? Got more. Racist. A noun who wins. Noun, a person who wins an argument with a liberal. Bigot. Noun, a person who wins an argument with a liberal. Islamophobe. Noun, a person who wins an argument with a liberal. Misogynist. Homophobe. Fascist. Yeah, and hit. All of the same things. You're doing the same thing every single time. You're winning an argument against these idiots. That's what's happening. This was something that was shared, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was shared by Jared Delaney, I think on Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter. And this was statements on trends in mortality and estimates of excess mortality. Now, this came from, was it 2 days ago? I think the 18th. Look how many people are in the doll. Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Matty McGrath was there as well too. Base Matty McGrath was upstanding and he was saying things that were absolutely on the money. But look at the place, empty. In my opinion, now I don't know what the situation is. These are the type of things that should be brought up down, in my opinion, when the place is full. Like, I don't know what way things work in there insofar as how you get your time in with these things. But when the place is full, like, to me now, what that is showing is absence and credible deniability. Is that the case? Would that be the term? Credible deniability, that you can go, oh, I wasn't there, I didn't know that. Even though it's televised, even though there's a stenographer there, and even though that stuff's been put on social media. No, we weren't there. We didn't hear that. Place full to the rafters for Joe Biden, who sniffs the follicles off of the children of other people. And he was doing some weirdo videos there recently saying that the guys there that are over in the Middle East, they did their own hospital. And if they aimed straight, they wouldn't have that problem. What a strange thing to say. Anyway, more importantly, gone back on our country here. This is how little of a shit your politicians give about you. And I keep referencing this and I keep reminding people this. Your politicians, the same ones that are out there saying that they care so much about your health, couldn't care less. Because this is what they actually think of you. Not to be there, disinterested, don't want to know. There all the time when it came to the sniffles. Oh yeah. Oh, keep that ticker going, boys. How many do we have today? 5,000 that are running out to test centres and getting themselves tested. Sheeple. Out you go. Out you go there. Get yourself tested there. When it comes to people having issues though, likes of excess issues, oh no, we don't want to know about that. But fair play to the politicians that are in there. That's probably a head count of people who are actually decent in the doll, by the way. Just to let you know. 4, is it? 5. And when I say that, I'm like, people are over here. I don't know who they are. But anyway, Matty McGrath, one of them. So there you go. That's a real show of the amount of people who, some of them are just there to be there, by the way, to argue the case. I think Patrick Tobin is in there as well too. But the rest of them, nowhere to be seen. Where's Sinn Féin in this, by the way? Sinn Féin. They're for the people, aren't they? They're supposed to be for the people, aren't they? Where were they when it came to this here? Why are they on the missing list? What's the story with that? It's interesting, isn't it? What side do you want? I'm not on either side. You can't do that. You have to pick. Okay, I pick my own country. That's not allowed. You have to pick them or them. You should consider moving. And then they get sad. I always say that to people. They're like, these are doing this, that, and the other. Like Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin. You've got Leo Varadkar that's out there going, well, we've got to protect, and we've got to say that they're doing great stuff over there, and All right, Leo, you join the front line then, lads. Off you go. Off you pop. Put a helmet on you. Put a vest on. Put a boom stick into your claws there, and off you pop, mate. If you care about that place so much, good luck to you. Same with Micheál Martin. Oh, what's happening over there? We stand with the people. You stand with them. You go on over. You go and fuck off over there now and put yourself on the line there, lads. Head on. Because here's the thing. Did anyone see the video of the German fella? The German guy, the guy that's running the German situation, did they call them a chancellor over there? Is it Olaf or something like that, your man's name? Anyway, this guy, as soon as there was a bit of action in the air, they hit the ground. They were on the ground, face down. Isn't there a song from the 90s or thousands as well? Them face down, ass up. Anyway, they have that image forever ingrained in my head where I'm like, that is a politician. Absolutely 100%. Not any sort of bravery amongst any of them. Hit the ground they did as soon as. People say, but Ninja, there's issues that are going on there. Yeah, they weren't expecting that though. They weren't expecting that, which is hilarious. And it goes to show you that these people ultimately, behind all the bravado and talk that they like to talk when they're on these sort of programs and all those sort of their little chat shows and all that, no spines. Nothing. Guess which one they got upset about? Guess which one they got upset about? They got upset about Miss Zimbabwe. None of these things are a problem, though. You're not to notice any of this here. By the way, out of all of these women, Finland is giving it a run for... Sweden is also giving a run for the money there. I'm not going to score them, but listen, there are some there that are significantly better than others. But is that Marcus Rashford? Yikes. And look at this. Imagine that that's Miss Ireland and you have women walking around this country. You have women walking around this country that are far more impressive than this woman. And this woman is running around as Miss Ireland. But guess which one they got upset about? This is genuine. The media got upset about Miss Zimbabwe because she's white. I'm not joking. This is what European countries now are being treated to, and some Scandinavian countries you can see there as well. And obviously as well, you've got England. Isn't that insane? If that's not the clergy plan in action, I don't know what is. And that is the replacement theory, fully not a theory anymore, lads. Really isn't. Look what they're promoting. Look at they're promoting advertisements as well. You can't watch an advertisement nowadays in Ireland without anybody with this sort of look being in them. You just can't. ESG scores, boys. When these guys go at whites and Christians, it's not all of them. It's due to this here, to Supremes. What about the Crusades? We must come together in peace. Say no to this the phobia stuff gets me. It does all the time. You're phobic. I'm not afraid. I'm disgusted. I just want to just point that out there. And I continually point it out to these people. And then they're like, you're a bigot. Do you know what the word bigot means? If you can tell me what the word bigot means, I'd be impressed. And they never come back to you then. Prayers for the victims. This is what happens though when this group, so the same group, go at these guys and these guys, oh, no. They're bad individuals. That's interesting how you flip the switch, isn't it? And now these guys, by the way, are telling you that they're going to cause issue in multiple countries. The caused issue there was in Belgium or Sweden. Was it Belgium? I think they were playing a match in. One fella went on a mad run. 2 Swedes no longer with us. Or were they 2 Belgians? One or the other. Anyway, open the correction on that one. But that's what they did. They were like, we're going to have a global day of this stuff here. And they're in countries around the world. Great stuff there. What an absolutely upstanding citizen that these people are going to make. Unbelievable. Anyway, toxic masculinity is a problem. 43% of boys are raised by single mothers and 78% of teachers are female. So toxic masculinity isn't a problem. Lack of masculinity is. Facts. Now we've got this here. This is one of the best memes that you'll see. Let all these guys into your countries. I don't really want to. Whoa, looks like we got a phobic Supreme over here. Who white? No, I just don't want to be replaced in my own country. That's fascist. Now, come here. I need you to get rid of these guys for us here. I'm not going. What? Fuck you. Now, I'm going to sing a little song here. Okay? Probably get hit with the thing, but I don't know. It goes, I I don't give a fuck about you, you stupid ass bitch. I ain't fucking with you. You little ass, I ain't fucking with you. I got a million trillion things I'd rather fucking do than to be fucking with you. Little stupid ass, I don't give a fuck. I always took that video up on Instagram and people thought it was hilarious. They did. I was like, what a video to put out there. Boom. Along with this here. Absolutely unbelievable stuff that we can see here, guys. Memes are just totally dismantling narratives in record time. And that's what memes like that do. You were an istaphobe, okay? Right? Not for me, no, I don't think so. You're a supreme, no, again, I don't think so. You're a fascist, no, I don't think so. Come over here and put your life on the line for us. No, I'm not going to do that. No, thank you at all. This is something else I'm going to show you here. And again, this is, once you realize these things, you start to pick up on what's actually happening. Now, I said it beforehand. I like Gript, okay? I like Ben Scan. I don't like this guy. And I've said that before. And this is why. Because this fella was pro-Voldemort. Pro-Voldemort passports, I should say. Rescind what I said beforehand there. Pro-Voldemort. Pro-Voldemort passport. Didn't see much of an issue with it. And I always thought since then, I was like, that's a weird stance to take, given the fact that it's wrong. But he plumazed and said to people, hey, I have a health issue and this is why, it's making me feel some sort of way about it. Okay, right. Then you were led on to mainstream media as well, and you were able to debate. And again, people like myself said, oh, that's great. That's good to see. But over the last few years, what's happened is this. What you've seen a capitulation of the mainstream media. And what has happened is now, because of the rise of the likes of Joe Rogan and various other commentators that are out there, particularly Alex and the guy that they really don't like with the surname Jones, because of the rise of these guys, what has happened is the Matrix as such has staggered into trying putting someone in place to plumaz people, to make people think that they are being listened to. And the biggest one for me is the Daily Wire. So you might be surprised to hear that. Some people won't be. But the Daily Wire, in my opinion, exists. And what it actually did for me over the last few years was I do like some of the stuff that they do and all of that sort of, I would say, all of that sort of business that they're, going a little bit more independent with things and fair play and all that. What it actually opened up my eyes to was that these same people, are playing both sides of the fence. That's what's happening here. And what is happening here is these people are wholly interested in continuing certain narratives and continuing. I mean, imagine a guy running out to campuses and looking like some sort of intellectual. You know what I mean? That's the basis of what Ben Shapiro was doing. Looking like some sort of intellectual going out to these places. But when it comes then to actually looking at situations and who's running them, who's running banks, who's running entertainment, then you sort of go, oh, hang on here for a second. Like that Australian dude was saying up above, and you go, well, that's very strange that all the people holding the certain strings to these things seem to be of a similar sort of background. And what's even more strange then is that the move into the media sphere has been even more interesting. And again, another thing that has opened my eyes to it is the likes of Daily Wire. And why do I say that? Well, Jordan Peterson was the biggest one. Because I said, Jordan Peterson, great to listen to, make some great points and everything. And then he joins the Daily Wire. And then he did 2 videos that were, I would say, critical of Christians. And another one that was critical of Muslims. There was no criticism for whoever Ben Shapiro was following. And I said, well, that's interesting. So again, people are starting to view that and they're starting to notice that. And what is happening now more often than not, people are noticing that both sides of the coin are being played by the same people. So it's a no-lose scenario for these individuals until people turn around and look at it and go, hang on here for a sec. Now you look at the likes of ESG scores, behind that. You look at an awful lot of these entertainment companies that are pushing this stuff. You look at the vast support that one country, some people will even say it's another country, but let's just play the game here. The blue star, white flag waving country here. You see the amount of politicians, celebrities, entertainment companies and media outlets that threw unanimous support behind that one place on a flip of a switch. They are the people that I would say to you that you need to keep an eye on. And these are people that people had said beforehand. There was other people that are out there now long before me that had said, keep an eye on these people. People like the sidelights of Gemma and stuff like that is this, that, and the other. One thing I'll say though is she was sort of on the money when it came to these things. You know, you've got to give credit when it's due here. That's a pun, is it not? Anyway, unintentional. But you've got to give credit and say, well, these people have been ahead of the game when they say both sides, or one side is playing both sides of the fence here. And it's becoming a little bit more clear. Not a little bit more clear, but abundantly clear now. And nothing got me more to look at this than this sort of nonsense here. So this is a guy that's a journalist for Grift. And he doesn't have an Irish flag there beside his name, but he has that flag. Now, he posted beforehand that he had gone on a trip that was paid. Was it paid for, allegedly, speculatively? I don't know. But was saying that he went on a trip to this place beforehand. Isn't that strange? Now, I'm just curious. I'm just wondering. I'm just speculating. I'm not alleging anything here. I'm just speculating. Isn't it then odd that his company, the company he's involved in, starts to gain access to politicians? Isn't that strange? Now, you and I both know what's happening here in this country, because we'll take a really serious turn here now. We know we have a laugh, we know we like to joke and enjoy things. But let's take a real serious turn when we look at things like this. This is a Daily Wire situation now to me, where I'm going, great that you're putting out articles and asking questions and stuff like that. That's fantastic, it is. But at the root of it now, I'm looking at it and going, what's going on here? Is there a reason? Are you being given access to these people? So do these people then eventually, because look at how long, I mean, that's a photo, by the way, of Leo Varadkar and Micheál Martin throwing the eyes up there and looking unhappy. Roderick O'Gorman as well, too, the same thing as well. There's plenty of pictures out there. There's many of them that are out there. But is that with a view to those people being moved on in the positions that they're in to somewhere else, then to have a new group of individuals? And then these people are still asking questions and putting them under the spotlight. And it's under the guise of, again, this is all just speculative stuff here, and it's under the guise of people asking questions from our side of the fence. Now, again, as I said, I don't know. I'm only speculating here. I do like the questions that are being asked. However, I think a lot of people have been asked questions about how there's been unprecedented access to these politicians, and certainly putting these politicians on the spot. Norma Foley was put on there during the week. I agree with the questions. This is what I'm pointing out here. I agree with the questions. I agree with the fact that Ben Scallon is telling them that they're not answering the question. But, like, look what happened to Tucker. How long, if Ben is there, and again, it's all speculation here, how long is Ben going to be there if, again, he's like a Tucker, would you say? How long is he going to be there until he asks the wrong question to the wrong person? Or poses something like what I'm saying here to go, why does this fella have this here in his bio? What's the story here? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what happened with Tucker. Tucker went and said, hang on here for a second here, guys. What's going on? You can't talk about this. I can't say something about that. Why not? He was running this show. And now Tucker's out on his own and he's become bigger than most. So, you got to look at things like this. And like I said, the Daily Wire was the first one that opened my eyes to that, where I was going, okay, right, that's great that there's someone on our side of the fence that seems to be part of the group. But then we seen what happened to Jordan Peterson, and Jordan Peterson was signed up and then was told, you do what we say, man. Okay, that's strange. It seems like everyone's pulling the same sort of strings there now, doesn't it? Anyway, it's just an interesting topic is all I'd say. And I just think that that's strange that the Irish flag isn't in the bio, but that flag is. Wouldn't be me. I wouldn't fly the flag of another country on a social media profile like this here. Like my Irish flag there, as you can see, it's there. That's it. It's done. Very odd. Very odd to me anyway. But look, it is what it is. Sinn Féin Desi Ellis, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because I have 5.95 thousand followers. So I'm looking to go towards 6,000. This got 1,816 views, 345 likes. So what I want you to pay close attention to is the views and the likes. Comments, I suppose, as well. But likes, most importantly. 345. So let's go along and I'll post that nonsense now in a moment. So is it this one? Yeah, these two here. So I've got this 345 likes with less viewers and less views. Now I know what's going on as well too, by the way. I know that they stifle videos like that. That's up to 3,300 views as far as I know from the last time I looked there. I'm seeing other people being pushed. I know what's going on. I know. So I don't need to go into it too much. But I know when a video is starting to climb and then they go, whoa, this is not good. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I know that happens. So let's have a look here. But these people have 4.5 thousand followers. This is Irish Mirror. They have 46,000 views. And this is a stream from 2 months ago. But they have 177 likes. Now, I will argue this, no problem, that my stream tonight probably has more likes already than this does in 2 months. But this has 46,000 views. How is that possible? How does that make any sort of sense? Now, I know as well as you do that this is very odd. And there's some people that are out there, by the way, I know people that speculate about it in the chat, and there's people that speculate about it as it is, and they go, well, Ninja, here's the thing. These people are doing certain things. And it's like, even, for example, you've got your, just 1 second there, 127 likes. I'm just looking it up here live. 127 likes currently on this stream. This is live. These people have 50 more likes than me in 2 months with the 46,000 views. Now, there's some people out there that say on the likes of Twitter, for example, that's why certain politicians and media organizations have very large followings. Some of them allege them to have bought followers. Now, I don't know if that happens on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe 46,000 people did tune into this stuff here. But really? Did they? I don't know. I think it's odd. I think it's odd that you're pulling in only 177 likes with 46,000 views. I mean, I have other videos that are out there that have, I think, 3,000 to 4,000 views and they have 1,000 likes on them. So I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you have 46,000 views and you've got 177 likes. I also don't know how you have 46,000 views and you have 4.5 thousand followers. I know that videos like mine do those sort of numbers now and again, but the reason for that is because they're trying to stifle this channel. Look at what happens as well too. There's another good channel that's out there talk about action figures, mostly the 3POA. The 3POA just got 5,000 subscribers. That show is doing mad numbers. It is mad numbers every week and every second week whenever they do a show. Mad numbers. They're doing bigger numbers than some fellas that have 3 times, 4 times, 10 times as many people following them. They're doing bigger numbers than them. But they tell the truth. Here's another one. The Irish Mirror, 4.6 thousand followers. So they went up 100 they did from a day. That's amazing, that one, isn't it? Because I put it up on social media, on Instagram, and things started to change a little bit differently from there. But look at this. 345 likes in 23 hours. These people had something up a day, and they had 198, but these 40,000 views and 112 comments. How? 21-minute video, by the way. How? Now, I know people might say, well, a lot of people dislike that video, and that's, I suppose, one thing you can do on these social media platforms is that you can hit the dislike button. You can't see it anymore, but maybe 40,000 people are tuning in, maybe, and are going bang, 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 and there's 39,000 dislikes on this. I don't know. There's an extension that you can add to this as well, too, to let you know. By the way, my stuff is always a 90+% rating, it is, which is great. I know I have a couple of people that listen in here. I'm sure that the person who likes to follow my stuff and listen word for word as well too. I'm sure you were listening in here and have hit the dislike button already. If you haven't, make sure you do hit the dislike button because that's good for my algorithm as well too. So no matter what you were doing, you're actually helping me out. Nice one. I appreciate that. Thanks. I appreciate the hate watching as much as I do the people that love watching. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think that's very strange. And that's irreputable. Again, we say reputable. That is a mainstream media outlet. How do I have more? Again, 4.6 thousand, right? How do I have more subscribers than a mainstream media outlet? How do I have that? How is it that those people have thousands of videos insofar as thousands of people viewing their videos, tens of thousands, and they don't have more subscribers than I do? What's that about? Now, I know what's going to happen from here, as we all do. And you see the likes of News Talk, for example. That's another one as well, too. Noel, that does be in here as well, too, from Noel's Zone as well. He is someone that initially talked about an awful lot of Doctor Who stuff. Don't know whether he's rebranding the channel now or what's going on, but Noel's getting involved in what's going on. Love to see it. And he ratios News Talk the other day. They posted something out he did, and he got something like 98 likes he did, and they had something like 10 likes. Like, that's just a random individual. When I say random, that's someone with a following, but someone with not as big a following as News Talk ratioing them on their own tweet. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at right now. That's the game. That's what we're seeing. But anyway, not to be trusted. I always knew that. It's like I feel like one of the Sopranos right now. I always knew. You know what I mean? I always knew. This just confirms it. You know? It's like one of those mobster movies, isn't it? It's like, I knew. I could smell it. Anyway, we keep moving on. Stop posting things that go against what I've seen on TV. You conspiracy theorist. Live footage of these people. Off-Grid Ireland put this out here. Ireland reported passings 15 to 24 years. So passings in the 15 to 24 age cohort are up 29% since 2020, according to Central Statistics Office. Wonder what happened in 2021, 2022, boys. These figures represent people in the prime of their lives, young, fit, healthy. This trend requires investigation by health authorities. Passings in this age group are extremely unusual, just climate change, yeah. Now, this is coming at a point in time, right, where they're able to manipulate statistics because of the influx of people into the country fitting this age bracket, by the way. So this is still a huge jump, regardless. The fact that it's been reported like this is what I was saying. I've been saying this now for the last 2 years. I've been saying, can't wait to see these statistics come out. And do you know what I want to see? I want to see a breakdown of statistics for sudden adult death syndrome and also then for cancer between the last couple of years, from 2020 to 2021 to 2022. I want to see it because that is going to tell people, and the bar chart that you're seeing here, this is showing you conclusive proof, in my opinion. Quick swig there, that something is wrong. After this, was this not supposed to go down? It's only gone up. Now, if this keeps going up, so if we hit 2023 and figures are up again, I've got, and everyone else that's been called a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist has absolutely got a claim to go, I was right, 100%. Because this is conclusive proof to me. I don't know about you, but certainly to me, when I look at this, I go, well, that's odd. Now, of course, you'll have some idiots that'll go, well, everyone was locked in their gaffs during that year. I hear you on that one, I do. I hear you on that one. But how come this is significantly rose since then? What's the story there? And these are people, these people are saying on Off-Grid Ireland, prime of their lives. What's going on there? It doesn't warrant any sort of investigation though at all. No. Sweep it under the carpet, boys. Don't say nothing. And the fact that they're doing that, I'm not saying anything about that. And the fact that so many people are turning up to the Dáil, in the Dáil, when they're actually talking about this, when I say so many people, 10 people are turning up, tells you everything that you need to know. That's a picture painted right in front of you there. That's very easy to see, in my opinion. So anyway, we'll sort of come to a close when it comes to these things. I cannot stand rugby, if I'll be honest with you. This is something as well too that I feel has been forced upon the nation. Other people might disagree, whatever you feel. There's a couple of people that disagree with me on Twitter with relation to this. This is a posh boy sport, okay? And this is a sport that's enjoyed by your politicians and the likes of. This is for them. Do you know what I mean? They love that sort of stuff. They love this stuff they do. The average Irish person now has been pushed into accepting this nonsense over the last couple of years. And some people out there like it and they go, oh, it's great. It's great, is it? What was it? 15 fellas on each side there running into each other for what? 70 minutes to chase an egg? That's ridiculous. Oh, it's real skillful, it is. Is it? Yeah. Oh, okay, right, yeah. I would rather, and I mean this, I would rather watch women's tennis than watch this. 100%. Because to me, there's a bit of skill involved in tennis. Do you know what I mean? People that are out there playing rugby or whatever, that follow this channel and go, that's bang out of order here in Ninja. I just couldn't face any sort of interest in this at all. I've no interest, zero. And then you look at this here. Now, this is Irish rugby. They've got 370,000 views and they started to hide replies. Hashtag team of us, not so much. Because you told the plebeians, hey guys, your opinion means nothing, because people were slating him. They were like, "Ah, this is nonsense. He did terribly," And in fairness, people had their criticisms, and there were some genuine criticisms that were in there. And then there was other people that were like me. Now I didn't say it, but other people did. They were like, "Posh boy sport, no interest in this, not that. One for the politicians, this sort of stuff," because it's been pushed upon you. Where else would you hear it? They talk about a song being sung by these people. And one of the things that was posted by News Talk as well, that I was like, a rare W for News Talk here, was they were talking about bandwagon supporters. And there was another video that came out there about 3 or 4 weeks ago of 4 lads, and they were asked to describe the Irish team. You want to hear the waffle that these fellas were talking. Ireland is like a very well cooked baguette on a Tuesday morning filled with caviar. And I'm looking at it going, that is the rugby fan in a nutshell. Absolute spoofer. And then, to top it all off, was people posting videos of people in France running around having a great time. And someone made, I don't know who it was, but they made one of the best observations that I've seen in a long time. And they said, imagine if these people were as upset at the Irish government as they were going to the World Cup. And I just said, brilliant, brilliant. Because you know what it is? It's bread and fucking circuses for these people. This is what you're getting. And this is to go back to what I was saying at the start about people I talk to, and you say to them about what's going on in the world, and they want to talk about the match on the weekend. Bread and fucking service and circuses for the plebs. That's what it is. So I keep saying to people all the time, I like to talk about things, and I think that's very clear. You're nearly going 3 hours now at this stage. But I like to talk about things with people that understand what's going on, and also then to awaken some people as well. I know it's difficult. And listen, I've dragged 4 or 5 people for sure, kicking and screaming, into the world of what's going on, like Morpheus did to Neo in the Matrix, going, listen, you best look at what's going on here, because I can see what's going on, and we're dropping red pills like there's no tomorrow here, lads. But this sums it up here. We're over in France there, guys, and we're going to see the boys in green. We're just hoping that Johnny Sexton is able to have a top game today, guys. Yeah, the country's overrun by people. There's been an influx of criminals, and crime rates have risen to an all-time high here. Politicians are as corrupt as fuck. You've got politicians as well, too, who are in league with very shadowy organizations, who are up to no good, who are promoting things from companies that have long criminal histories. But you're off to see a lot of lads there running around after an egg. Yeah. Great. What an absolute shambles. Sums it up, doesn't it? You wonder why I get angry at sport. I do get angry at sport, and that's why. It's even like you look at football at the moment, Irish football, it's awful at the moment. So with that said, you've got the Irish football supporters. They're there to be talked to go, hey, listen, lads, tickets are bad. And you're paying, €120 for a ticket there to go out and see fellas that can't kick a ball straight. You know what I mean? And then you go out and you look and you go, I'm being pontificated to by these people. They're bending the knee. Lovely. I'll go down to the GAA. I'm being pontificated to about that by the GAA too. Great. And slowly but surely, people are starting to tune out and they're walking away. Bread and circuses, they come to an end at some stage. And that's where we're at, lads. That's where we're at now. And that is, I think that's coming to the close now. But rugby, just for me, again, I know some people in here love it, they do, and some people are probably disagreeing. That's fair enough. Whatever is up to you, it's up to you. And if you enjoy it, that's grand. But I just think it is the most pretentious sport with the most pretentious supporters and people you could ever see, ever. And there you go. So anyway, that's the news cycle, I think, for this week. I think I might have 1 or 2 more bits here. I think I had one sort of funny one here towards the end. Let's see if I jump in here. Go back to that there. That jumped out for some reason. Gab, fair play to it. It acted correctly here tonight. The machines held up this evening. Maybe it was from taking the week's break. Listen, I'm back here next week anyway, so that's the plan. Oh yeah, I have this here. I think I have a couple of bits here now. I had that from last week, or last time I was on. This woman here, I haven't done this in years as men are intimidated by me, but I won't give up. Amber Johansson revealed it can be hard to find men who aren't scared of her good looks and successful career, but she's still on a mission to find Mr. Right. She's 37 and used. Men don't want that. Like, good looking woman, no doubt. Above average. But she's 37. The timeline's not with you. And that's why I keep saying to people, and this is something that Kevin Samuel said himself, even like, you have to understand That men ain't going to be looking at that. They're going to be like, this is the type of chick, by the way, that goes to Ibiza to find herself. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to Ibiza for 4 years there. Oh, yeah. Good luck. She comes back at 35. Why won't no one wife me? You know why? Because there's a chick there that's 25. That's 10 years younger than you. That ain't gone through the mileage that you've gone through. And dudes know. They understand. And they don't want to put up with you, no matter how good looking you are, because no matter how good looking you are, some man somewhere is tired of your shit. Sorry, we've had a good laugh here tonight. I certainly have. Anyway, I was enjoying 143 in here now at the moment. We're at 2 hours. I'm trying to close it out. I will before the 3 hour mark. Anyways, we'll fly through this here. So again, that's news portion done. Thanks to everyone that jumped in here. Obviously, the great Michael Brazil's in here, the Irish Git. How you getting on, man? It's good to see you. I have so many people that pop in here. And I'm like, wow, every time I see Michael Brazil, Ferg, the likes of Satirical Soldier as well too, Phil Dwyer as well. That we had that time with Dave Cullen as well. I was like, this is mad. Mad to see people turning up here as well too. I know GT as well too, I think turns up now and again. That's another one. But I'm like, one of the OGs there. You know? People pointing stuff out. Mad stuff anyway. Let's keep going. People are talking about the climate change stuff. So again, yeah, I'm back here next week, 7:30 Irish time. Well, it could be 8 o'clock. I don't know. I'll set it up by will and let people know, okay? But again, much appreciated. I'm going to jump into the chat now and say hello, and we'll go from there. So if you want to dip out now, we appreciate that. X says, I would say the floods were engineered. Everything is. Yeah, so they can push the narrative. Absolutely, 100% they do these things. Sylvia Ralston says, flood devastation in my town. Please say prayers. People aren't a fan of the Colossians. Well, not that people aren't a fan, but I said people aren't a fan of Desi there in the chat. Anyway, Ron Burgundy's in says, Colossians 4:6, let your words be seasoned with salt. You don't want to give people too much salt or else they get overwhelmed. Salt being the truth. Salt is very good for you. And that's actually something that the Who were out there last week or the week before being like, too much salt intake is bad for you. Everyone in the comments is like, I do the opposite of what these people are saying. It's like now they're telling you steaks are bad for you, butter is bad for you, raw milk is bad for you, eggs are bad for you. Really? Isn't that interesting? Then you talk to people that are in their 80s and they've had all these things all their lives and they're fine. Anyway, we'll keep moving on, guys. And I'm talking about real butter, not that fake nonsense, by the way. Grass-fed stuff. Fusing Sean, they've been talking about flood defence for middle for 6 years. In the meantime, they've been flooded 3 times. Well done, Refusing Sean. Thanks very much for that one, because that's absolutely 100% what I was talking about earlier on. It's like they are caught by surprise every single time. Oh, we didn't know it was going to happen. It's happening in the same areas all of the time, boys. Every single time. Partisan Ditch says, great to have you back on, Ninja. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. People are still talking about this yet in the chat. They're like, don't like it. Derek McManus says, to whom it may concern, this is the Late Late Show. Yeah, that's like a this is Sparta moment. You think you were the Late Late Show? This is the Late Late Show now. Anyway, we'll keep going. Point Man's in here. Big shout out to the Point Man. Always sending me the base memes. Absolutely love it. What's the crack, folks? Hope you're all well all this rainy Friday. People talking about the issues that are happening across the world in the UK as well. The UK are starting to realise, they're starting to stand up and go, we may have let in too many of these people. And you're going, yep. And it's nice that you're finding this out. Have you been in London lately, mate? Have you been in and around the Emirates? Have you seen the people there? Listen, it's insane. You have a look at TripAdvisor for the place around the Emirates. Is it called? What is it called? Highbury. I think, yeah, Highbury. Have a look at TripAdvisor for Highbury. You'd be surprised at the Google reviews that are there, and they are accurate. They're like, I didn't realize I was going to Turkey. And you're like, oh, okay. Then you're like, it's great to have you back on, pal. I thought climate change got you for a minute. Not at all. Not at all. I'm going to zoom through this now as well. We've got 2 hours worth of chats to keep up on. So unless I say too much, we're all good. RT are lapping her up about Paddy Cosgrave being cancelled. Why? Keeps the attention, I reckon. But yeah, Gillian Anderson was one that was like, I'm not going across. And I'm like, nobody's known about you since the X-Files anyway, so no loss really. I like when people do that. I like when people are like, I'm not supporting my values down the line with you. And I go, great. because now I know that I'm not going to support you in the future. I won't be doing that. End of the line, Joe says Kennedy is pointless. I don't agree. I think he's taken a big battering ram to these people. And again, like that, as I said earlier on, he's putting things out that are facts. Armchair Limerick Nationalist says sound for the stream, Ninja. Thanks very much, man. Much appreciated. You've got to have a guy like that. You can't have what's going on at the moment. I mean, Trump is still pushing the stuff from the last couple of years. He's still telling you it's a good thing. Now, I don't know whether he means that in a way of a lot of lefties took it, especially when they decided to mandate it. A lot of them took it, and maybe he thinks you're quieting down on that side of the fence here. I don't know whether that's what he means. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know whether he's playing 5D chess. I disagree. I don't think he is. I think Kennedy is a bit more legit when it comes to those things. But in saying that as well, Kennedy's not without his faults. He said some stuff in the past that I'm like, yikes. But you got to realise, by the way, you're dealing with dynasties here. You're dealing with families and dynasties that have had control for a long time. Look at, for example, the likes of who was hanging around with De Valera, a relation of Ryan Tubridy. You just got to look back a generation or two and you start to see. CSC says Ninja Knight is the flu the same as man flu. No, it's not. Man flu is infinitely worse. I will just say that. As a man, I would say that. There's some women out there now that would say that they identify with having a man flu. Okay. I understand. But yeah, I think, I'll be honest with you, I actually think the flu hits men different. I really do. I'm not saying that as a joke. I genuinely do think that. I think it might have something to do with the immune system and the fact that, it's different physiologies, I suppose. Different physiologies. I watched the Continental. Has anyone seen that? It's actually related. I know I wouldn't say it's related to. Say it's linked to the John Wick movies. I'm like, that's fan fiction, lads. That's terrible. The only good thing was Mel Gibson was in it. He was really good. But then I was like, this is an awful show. Only B101 forces. Puska is Roma. Why we pay to keep him in the country? It sends out a message that Ireland can be haven for the waifs and strays of the world. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I don't know whether he's Roma or not. But a lot of these people get a lot of interpreters as well, don't they? Which is also very strange. Leanne's in here as well too, saying at half 8 it's showing me 63 likes and 149 watching. Always the same. It's not everyone can like, but that's alright depending on what type of device you're on. Frank Barnes says Ninja Knight who votes for the Green. I've not met anybody in the last number of years, and I seriously ask everyone I meet, I'm like, do you vote for them? And they go, no. Aidan McLaren says, did I get a mention? Cheers, Ninja Knight. No bother. Ninja's warm-up act is a mime, says Humans, eh? Maureen says, hi Ninja from West Cork. Welcome. I'm sure this has been an exciting stream. People come in here. I think people get shared the stream sometimes, come in here and they're going, what's happening? You got to just roll with the punches when it comes to these things. And I sometimes just assume that people that are coming in are just returning people that have been here before. Sometimes I say things and people are like, what were you talking about when you were saying these things? You have to be here for a while. I do my best, though, at times to try and welcome in new people, but appreciate the new individuals coming in. We've got a good comment there. It says, I always be singing. It says, when your stalkers leave, it's the first sign your content is slipping. Expect more, Ninja. No doubt about it. I find it very interesting now when people get interested in what you're doing. And you're like, have you not heard anything that I've said? And they're like, no, you're wrong. Okay, that's grand. You don't have to watch it if you don't like. No, they keep going. Yeah, getting back to that there, the Continental, awful show. Don't recommend it. Twisted Metal, on the other hand, not a bad show. So far, but we'll wait and see how things go. Irish Red says, Ninja Knight noticed the flags on Vradkar's jacket. It signals to his masters. You're the fan of Vradkar. Sheepdog says, medical contracts, Ninja Knight, you hear yet, but just read the aardvark. Johanna Tornfeld is in here. Morning, Ninja, and all. Good to see you here. I think you were tuning in from Australia the last time I was talking to you. People are talking about Gates in the chat there as well too. Yeah, another one. Another individual that's floating around and still hasn't been apprehended by nobody. That's how you get to know what's really happening in the world. You're like, how is so much criminal behaviour going on openly And yet there's law enforcement everywhere that's like, no, we're not going to do anything about that. Sheepdogs is being honest in tonight and all the chat. I honestly think most people have their number now. They are finished. I'm hoping, right. It's only gonna keep going from here on out. And to me, we've got a lot of people now on this side, and we've got more people that are waking up as well. And there's people that are realizing that they haven't got that much time now, and they're going, right, lads, we're not happy about this at all. So we'll see. We'll see. I was on fire here tonight again. Streaky Bacon says the Xmas gift to Ireland this year from the EU will be Palestinians. CSA, yes, we have to keep laughing in tonight. If you laugh, the world laughs with you. If you cry, you wet your face. Fully agree on that one. That's a good sign there. I like that one. Regular just goes in here, sends a green heart in Ireland. Nice one. Much appreciated. Regular just goes talking about the Thunberg one. Yeah, these people are all linked. It's a dynasty. Dynasties. Families, familial ties, all the same thing. Thunberg, everyone's favourite oddball. Thanks, Ninja. Going to use that one. Frank Barron says entangled. Listen, I have to dance around certain things here. Bubba 5000 says we went to 3 hotels near Middleton looking for a room on Wednesday night because we couldn't get into the house because of the flooding. No rooms available in any of them. Can you guess why? Full to the rafters, I'm sure, of people not from this land. Full to the rafters, I'd say. And on taxpayers' dime, I would imagine. None of these politicians paying for themselves. Happy's in here, says hey hello. Or the name. Sometimes I see usernames here and I'm like, absolutely hilarious. Brilliant name. I don't know how they come up with that. Greg Power says Ninja Night, a tweet I put out last Saturday of a hens party on the Trying to Cork singing the national anthem is at 258,000 views. Crazy numbers, bro. People love Anthem Pro Irish, earning good bra. I saw that, yeah, that was brilliant. That was absolutely outstanding. Most of your tweets are doing mad numbers now as well, which is great, and they're doing really high likes. Your dude, 100%, that should be running in your area in the next local election, man. Seriously. Telling you. These people need to start pulling out all sorts of tricks when people like you are running in those places, and it's going to make it look obvious. Like, how do you put someone like, I don't know, like, for example, when no, not in the same constituency or anything like that, but how do you put up a guy like Ferg and a guy like Leo Varadkar, and people are absolutely behind Ferg, and then Leo Varadkar gets the nod? Like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? People talking about the Ashton Murphy trial in the chat there as well. It's absolutely shocking. The more things that are coming out about it, it's just even worse than what was imagined beforehand. Ellie Green says the witness ran away to get help. It would be better to try to delay him somehow. Difficult because he didn't speak English. Listen, I tell you, if you're a woman and you see anything like that happening, I don't begrudge any woman that runs, because trying to help is only going to put you in trouble. You know what I mean? So, again, I think there's a way of looking at these things, and I think we've got to look at these things from a sensible point of view of saying, hey, people need to be starting looking after themselves, you know. Freg's Pouse is in here, says the future is great. The future is nationalism. God bless you. Michael Brazil says Ninja Night FYI, while pepper spray is illegal, there are sprays to get vicious dogs away, to stop fighting, etc. They would clear a stadium and are legal, handy for women to carry. Good shout there, Michael. Nice one. Allegedly, respectively, on that one. On that one, allegedly, respectively. Refusing Sean says, and you should see the house that Joseph Pushka lives in at your expense. X says, Dunn stores have posted at the direct entry of shop of Africans 5 young fellas links advertisements. Yeah, I don't know when Africa joined the EU. Does anybody know that? I don't know when they joined. CK Media Trainer says, Ninja Night, apparently Ashland was one of his children's teacher and she reported bruising the child. Alright, so there's more to this story than is there. I thought that was a separate story. I thought that there was another one that happened to as well. But if that's the same one, yikes. And I mean, like that again, like if he was being reported, then like, there's so much to this story, guys, I'm telling you. Heartbreaking. Leanne Curtis says, turmeric is wonderful for so many ailments, diseases, etc. So is cayenne pepper. Letitia Logan says, Gerald Salente, always in the money. Gerald Salente is very good. Very good for the money-related things. And like that as well, are all... A lot of the fiscal stuff that he talks about, a lot of the financial stuff that he talks about links into what's happening. I mean, you look at they didn't get what they wanted over in Russia and in the blue and yellow flag waving country. So they're trying to start it somewhere else because they are desperate to go to war because that makes money. It's a money making machine and it sends people over to these places to go. And again, that's pensions not having to be paid for. I look at things a completely different way than I would have a number of years ago. Really do. I wouldn't be going nowhere. I put up a poll, by the way, on Twitter during the week, and it said, would you, if you were to be drafted, would you go and to a foreign country? And 87% said no. I think there was something like 400 votes there was towards the end. But 87% were like, nah, I wouldn't be going anywhere. 13%, I don't know what 13% are thinking. I really don't. Like, ducks in a barrel there, lads. I wouldn't be going nowhere. Not a chance. And then you got people that are underneath it that are like, but they put you in jail. Have you seen the jails recently? 4 walls, roof over your head, Sky, PlayStation, allegedly, especially, and food. Listen, I'm telling you this. I'd rather sit there than I would then go to a foreign country and possibly lose it all in the bat of a politician having a disagreement with another politician. 2 spineless individuals. No thanks. Hard pass on that one. DJ Guy 100 says, glad to see you back. Look forward to your Friday night show. Thanks very much. Thank you. Serbia are based. People are saying there in the chat. Beans on toast. Who said beans on toast? Refusing Sean. Beans on toast. Shocking. Delivery umami, says Shrieky Bacon. The anchor says, I taught my daughter how to cook home cooked food from an early age. It made it fun. Had her sitting on the counter watching me and helping. She's a dab hand in the kitchen now and knows how to. Exactly. That's what exactly needs to be done. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Max says Serbs are based. They had the right to protect their country from a specific religion in the early 90s. Serbs were not treated nicely by Turks and people by the thousands in 1800s and early 1900s. Craig says, hello Ninja and all, how's the chat? Letitia Logan says, I know women who that won't peel a potato as long as their nails are important, are more important, and I don't think much of them. Listen, like too many of them that are out there. Oh, my nails to get this. You need to be able to cook this, you know. And Lloyd Jones says, Ninja, hate speech is such an obnoxious concept. It is an attempt to try and not let you speak and let people know what's going on. That's why they don't feel very comfortable when there's people out there that are happy to go out in the street and talk to each other and get people in the know. Social media, the same thing. Fear has been a big issue for them. What have we got there? We've got, can't even say dirty and then put on double accents. I can go on in the chat there. Argus leaving made me wonder about owning nothing, says Slap Happy. You've also seen as well too, just on another topic there from people leaving, you've got the, what's that place called? Wetherspoons. The pubs, they're selling up all of their pubs. They are throughout the country except for Dublin at this moment of time. Now what that means is similar to what happened with Iceland, so just bear with me here. You've got Argus, you've got Iceland, and you've got now Wetherspoons that are looking to pull out of Ireland. So that's 3 companies. You've also got major tech sectors that are looking to pull out here as well. So they're looking to make the move because they're able to outsource things now to India, and it's much cheaper for them, obviously. And they're looking to pull out as well. So what are you going to be left with? You're going to be left with the likes of your Tesco's, your Lidl's, your Aldi's, and Super Value is starting to pull back as well. You're after seeing one close down in Ballymun. So these places pulling back means that you're only going to be given these multinational corporations, and they're going to eventually then just totally take out the likes of the local places. And a lot of these local places destroy themselves because when they decided to get on board with the nonsense over the last couple of years over the sniffles, like there's places that I go to and I would have gone to beforehand that I wouldn't go to now. And I just say, no, I won't shop with these people now ever again after they decided to behave the way they did. Yeah, I can't come in here without a face nappy on. Are you serious? Do you not see what's going on? And it's not only that though, but you've got people that are hanging around behind the counters with the stuff around their chin and you're harassing me. I'm here potentially spending money. Now, I'm not spending money anymore, and I'm definitely not going to spend money anymore here. And not only that, then I'm going to tell everybody else that I know not to spend money with you. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know that plays into the hands of these multinationals, and they're going, that's happy days. That's like the Tesco's rubbing their hands going, that little place there is going to be Gonski's. And that's playing into their hand. I know that, but all you can do, I suppose, is just look around and say, well, I'll start growing my own stuff here now. The likes of, if you stop eating the likes of processed stuff as well, you feel a lot better. If you stop taking certain things like, sugary drinks and stuff like that, you feel a lot better you do overall. You know what I mean? Like, these things are all superfluous. Talking to a lot of people as well too that are talking about filtration systems in their water for their houses. Great point. I think it's another great point. So like that as well, just going back to basics really. I saw a good video there last week, week before, and this goes to show you one guy that's just against the norm. Is a fella called Joshua Duhamel. I think that's how you say his name, or Duhamel, or whatever it might be. But he was in a couple of the Transformers movies. He was, and this guy was married to Fergie, the singer from the Black Eyed Peas. He divorced her. He said he wasn't happy with the Hollywood lifestyle. It was weird, didn't like it. He's out living in somewhere like Montana now, or somewhere like that, in the middle of nowhere. Has his own well in his area. He's a couple of acres because obviously he's a multimillionaire. A couple of acres now, and he's built stuff out there now. Lives on a lake, farms from the local area, and then it said like he's looking to attract deer, so he's able to hunt then as well. This dude was in Hollywood. Picture the amount of stuff that he knows, and he's gone, no thanks, and he's out there now living on his own. Amazing. And they call him now a doomsday prepper, they do, but he's like, I wasn't into any of that stuff. And you're going, I wonder what he saw. And he obviously got out before he was pulled in too far. Look at what's going on with the likes of Dwayne Johnson. He's been pulled right in. Imagine him and Oprah are there saying to people, give us a couple of billion there for the likes of Hawaii, and you're going, but she was lived there and your gaps are fine. What's the story with that? Aidan McLaren says Ninja really should do a video doing Leo and Simon Harris's voices only. I'd pay good money to see that. Simon Harris, another one there. Another fella that's decrepit looking. That man looks like Nosferatu. That's what Simon Harris looks like to me. He just doubled that over, you know what I mean? A fella that's supposed... What's he? Is he 35 or 36? He looks ancient, he does. This, I don't know. I mean, that's what it does to you. I think when you're involved in these things, that's why they all look weird, they do, because you can't be around that much nonsense and not have any sort of ailments with relation to it. Has to get at you at some stage. I'm about 40 minutes behind the channel now. I'll get there now eventually. Greg Phelps says Ninja Knight, it's like 50 Cent is shitting himself. We call you 20 pence, bro. Love it, bro. Yeah, a lot of people are looking at that, the New York fella, and they're like, I already knew. Yeah, good Conor McGregor. I always knew there was something odd about him, and especially when it came to that Pro Voldemort stuff, I was like, don't like that. Sheepdog says, I don't mind McGurk, bear in mind, he is the editor, i.e. he determines what grip's right for you, don't, Ninja Knight, but I do hear you for the moment and have my counsel. Listen, the way I would look at it, and again, there's Sean Delepin here, Matt Walsh is fantastic. He is, but like, I mean, why do we need... I know it needs to be said, it needs to be reiterated, and I do get involved in it, obviously, myself, but like Matt Walsh's thing big time is the likes of the Doubtfires. Anyone that hasn't joined in here before, Doubtfires is a term that we like to use. But, I'm like, well, there's only so many times you can say that. Do you know what I mean? And is he criticising certain things? I don't think so. He's not saying who was behind it. He's not saying about what sort of books were out in the 1930s, 1940s, and who was promoting it at those times. Gab's telling you all those things, though. Kanye was telling you all those things, though. Irish Red says, Ninja Knight Grift is the Irish version of Breitbart News. Totally puppets. Eddie Green says, McGurk used to be a guest on Vincent Brown show, and there's no way he's a friend to poorer Irish people. Irish Red says Shapiro is from a certain intelligence agency. I wouldn't be surprised. These people will get up to all sorts. Sheepdog says all smokes and mirrors. McDonald pretends to represent the Irish people while having a pic of a Palestinian flag in their bio. Ninja Knight, no doubt it's all strange. Yeah. Stop Happy says I like Matt Walsh and Candace Owens, but I see your point. Listen, you can like those commentators. I'm not saying not to like those commentators, but what I'm saying is that I would be very wary of people that jumped on the fence and certainly onto the team of just go over to the Middle East and do this. I'm like, hang on here for a sec. Wait. Candace Owens is another one as well too. I'd have question marks around too. Some of the things she says, I'm a bit like, another one that I'd have big question marks on. Down here, Derek Man says, like, share, and subscribe, please, folks. Support the channel, spread the word. Much appreciated on that one there. Slap Happy says, to me, about 30% of the people watching my like in general. That's good. That's not bad. Derek Man says, I've over 1,400 followers on YouTube because of a few videos. Leanne Curtis took her to protest in Dublin because her phone battery was flat. Weird how things like that happen. You should be able to run a stream then. No bother, man. CSD Ninja, we all love you. Thanks very much. Zarowski says, hit the like, folks. Buffering says, Error 1014. Keep going, and let's see what's going on. Vicky Bacon says, this is why they want the online harms bill, because we are more popular. For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Man says, Noel is a great fellow. If you want to see me absolutely enjoying myself, check out his old live streams. Used to be on Noel's live streams as well. I've been on in a while. There's a dude there that didn't get on with me, and that's a story from another day. Felix Power says, thank you for your kind words, brother. I'm very much appreciated. Brilliant show, and the reason people keep them back is because you speak the truth. Bless you all. God wins, we win. Aaron Gobra. Great to see you in here, man. Have a safe weekend, and God bless. Arab only B1014 says Bundy Aki is about as Irish as Purple Aki. I also saw that Simon Zebo liked a number of things there, and that they were like, Simon Zebo's a conspiracy theorist. And do you know what he did? I was like, that's disappointing now. You know, big guy there. And this dude, he turned around and goes, no, my 8-year-old liked those tweets. Who called you? Who called you? CFC says, Ninja Knight, we know that's where you were last weekend. We know you were watching. I can't stand it. I really can't. Frank Barnes says, quarter the Irish rugby team are not Irish. CSD says, you're in France. Not a chance. Not a chance. This chat's getting outrageous. They're telling me, hey, you were over in France watching rugby. I would literally do anything else. I'm telling you, I would rather watch paint dry. I would rather watch paint dry than I would watch rugby. Watch? It sounds like Scooby-Doo there. Lady of Air says, hey Ninja and all. Good seeing here. Brian Bruce, the sport is going woke, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Derek McManus says, mileage is a polite name for... Yep. Very high mileage. Thomas Coulter says, you do a great job, thanks. Coulter. No, I'm not sure which way to go with that. Chris Quirk says, great chat, Ninja. Meow, should go shit. Snap Happy says, a 12 on salt. Derek McManus says, Dave Cunning's a star alongside Derek Blythe. Is one of the Irish heroes I want to meet in person. Streaky Bag says, Ninja should stream with Mark Collette. I don't know who that is. I haven't heard of him before. Probably has a massive following online going, don't know who that is. Cheap dog says, when you get them in the chat, Ninja, you'll know you hit the Rubicon. It hasn't happened yet. Anyway. Keep going there. CST says, Ninja Knight, I bought me curry because of you tonight. Still yummy. Thanks all the chat for everyone. The mods, Sean, Derek, Leanne, Fergus, Pointman, Slonja. God bless Ireland. British media is only saying that now because the self-chosen ones are receiving threats. Listen, if I was in those situations where I'm like, if I was sitting over there in politics, I would be nervous. I'd be like, oh no, because you're openly doing things and you're poking people in the eye. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Not that I'm endorsing or anything like that. I'm supporting, and I would disavow, and I do disavow. But like, to me, it's easier to be a good politician than it is to be a bad one. And these people just seem very interested in being bad ones. Streaky Begging, yes, I agree. Comrade Ninja's great. I follow Derek Blythe too. He's also a good guest. Zarowski says, great show, Ninja. Look forward to Friday nights again. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated indeed. Oh, yeah, and there's that other nonsense, that iron call thing. That's stupid, that is. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Westman says, if Phil Dwarf's still active, I've not seen any streams in I just yanked off YouTube. He's on Twitter, though. He's doing live streams over there. Yeah, see, Ninja Night, some women have a man flu with laughing faces. Frank Barnes says, RFK admitted he'll be taking votes from Trump. Maybe that's the game. Maybe that's the plan. Sheepdog says, wait, do you see him? I'm not even going to go down there, Sheepdog. Armchair Limerick Nationalist says, only anti-Voldemort people will vote for Kennedy. Obviously, yeah, I thought he'd have been better. I'll be honest with you now. If I was looking at it, if I was him, I suppose, you know, they all do things for their own reasons. But I'd have ran with the Trump fella. But then you're like, well, none of them guys are going to want to be VP. You know what I mean? Once we run the show, Irish Red says Ninja Knight the man flu is definitely more of an issue. I would agree. I would tend to agree on that one. Yeah, Philip has been not allowed back on this platform yet. I'm not sure what the story is, though. I don't know whether he's going to come back or what. Johanna says, cracking show once again. Thank you, Ninja. It makes Saturday morning workouts fly. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Enjoy the workout. Hope you're well. Slap Happy says, Westman Phil is on Odysee. Only came out with a vid. Is he on Rumble? He's on Rumble as well, too. Phil was saying he's on Rumble as well. I wonder if he'll come back at some stage. Westman, streaky bacon eye, but highbrow. Good though. I like Ninja style. Yes, Cullen is great. The mix have some great nationalist activists. We have some good ones. We have some great ones. Frank Barron says, I heard that ground black pepper, ground cloves, and cayenne works wonders on mice. As a mouse snack, but meant to stop mice from procreation. That's interesting. Annie W says home cooked food is better than any takeaway. Fully agree with you. The owl lad would agree with you on that one as well too. Dark Man's a stripey in there on that one. He'd be like, said the owl lad. CST says Ninja Knight, imagine getting a melted false nine in your lads. Melted false nine in your grave. And nasty. Refusing Sean is talking about Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's been a bad thing. It has like obviously it's convenient, but for shops, devastating. Slow burn, but only one butcher and salami batter, says Chris Craig. Up Happy says super value have halal stuff. Ninja saw my love video showing it. Shrieky Begs says Wetherspoons is absolutely superb as a pub chain, but the elites do not like working class people and pensioners gathering together for cheap food and a drink and ideas. Absolutely agree with you on that one as well. Yeah, 100%. They want you to be paying €6 a pint, so you won't go to the pub. I don't go to the pub. That's been straight with you there because I just wouldn't pay the price. Really wouldn't. Andrew John says Simon Harris dyes his hair grey, I'm certain. Hi guys. Absolute creepo. He'd be out there hanging around the Halloween. Anyway, I always be singing to Ninja. Josh Duhamel is part Irish. Oh, imagine if you got him on the stream. That'd be a good. That'd be a good one. Listen, I know you're out in the wilderness, Josh. By any chance you jump on. Sheepdog says Matt Tracy. I think you mean Ninja Knight. Matt Tracy's following me there on Twitter. As far as I know, I think we're following him as well. Probably won't be followed by anyone that's from Grit now. I think after tonight's stream, I'll be honest with you. Either you're like, oh, steer clear of that fella now. Steer clear of him. We used to say that to people as well. I think about a year or two ago, people were like, it won't be long before they pick you up on one of these places. And I'm like, no, none of these places is picking me up. No way. None of these stations or any of these online article things, none of them are interested in doing that with me because they're like, he's shooting from the hip here now. You can't go with that. You have to have something, and I won't be told what to do. I won't be told, listen, you can't say that or make sort of comments about that. Nah, I'd say what I like. As much as this place, and again, your hands are tied, unfortunately, but you have to dance to the tune, unfortunately, but it is the way it goes. Let's keep going through the chat and see what else is happening here. Hear the mice sneezing, said Sean Mack. Oh, hardy har there with the old pepper there. Good one. A good one. Eggman's a gravy boat. I won't continue that one there. You could be implicating yourself. Slap Happy says you're better hear Ninja. Yeah, no, I agree. When it comes to these things, I'd rather do this and say me piece rather than be told, no, you can't question that there. That's not what I started this for. I started this because I wanted to be able to go, don't think that's right. It's Fernando Marcus says with reference to Simon Harris now. Leon Cordes says, really enjoyed being here tonight. Thanks to each and every one you here and those that will watch it back. You're strong and love to keep the fight. Absolutely. Nice to have you here again as well too. Fair play to you for jumping in there. Another great mod. I always be singing, says Ninja, did you see Eddie Brady's new meme on John and Grips? No, I didn't see it. Let's have a look. Refusing Sean Simon 19 previous. Oh, stop. 18 with him. Yeah, there was actually 18 of these beforehand. You're like, what? What is he talking about? Is he for real here? Does he not know what's going on? Oh, no, he doesn't know. That's because he dropped out of college. He did flunky. And he's a guy that's overseeing health. How? And now he's overseeing third level education. weird, very strange. Anyway, guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a good weekend. Thanks for being in here tonight. Look after yourselves. God bless, and keep it real.